Hello, welcome to the podcast. I don't have a name for it. I'm your host, Brian. And I got my brother here. We still don't have a name for the podcast, so it's a work in progress. I have my brother here. He is my first guest. His name is Jose, and I'm not going to say the last name. I don't want you guys stalking him. Jose?
They're not going to find me. I have the most generic name ever. Like Jose Castillo. You can find me everywhere 7 times.
All right, so here's the thing. I came out to DC, and this is my first time fucking doing this with somebody here with us.
Is it going to pick up our mouth sounds?
Honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't care if it picks. We're drinking beers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
I don't care if it picks up. If anybody's listening, I want you to hear that we're drinking beer, because that's what I want this to be. I want it to be like
fuck you, you're not drinking, but you should be.
No, I want it to be laid back. So like when I have anybody else in the show.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about getting. So there's a couple of people that I work with. Yeah. One of them, his name is Josh, and he's one of my managers, and he's a genius. It was funny because one day we were just randomly talking about, I don't even know, I think we were talking about Rick and Morty, because I love that show, and he just starts talking philosophy, and he knows a bunch of he started talking about fucking Aristotle and all that shit, and it was fascinating, and I want him to be on the show as well, because I think that it would be a good conversation. I mean, he has a lot of insight on a lot of shit.
Is he gonna make us feel stupid though? Like he's gonna be like, "Well, coming from Voltaire."
See,
like,
you know, okay,
I don't know what that means, sir.
That's actually the funny thing. He's really smart, but that's all. Like he has kind of a little bit of charisma, but it's mostly just he's just a smart guy. Yeah. And when you talk to him, he looks like a nerd. He's got thick glasses. He looks like he looks like the guy from The Simpsons. The
comic book guy?
Not the comic book guy. He's the skinny whatever that that guy's name. I don't know.
That guy.
I was merely trying to spare the child of her feelings. Yeah. He looks like that guy, and that's actually how he sounds like.
I gotta look up that character.
I don't know his name.
Right, you continue, but it's just in my head now.
So I came out from. I live in Pennsylvania, and I drove out here to DC. Well, close to DC. How far are you from DC?
I'm about 45 minutes when there's no traffic. When there is traffic, it's about 7 days, and probably
it's the fucking work. So being from New York,
yeah,
and seeing the traffic there, and then going to Chicago and seeing how the traffic is in Chicago, I was like, okay, the traffic is definitely worse in New York, but it is still pretty bad in Chicago. St. Louis, there's not a lot of traffic, but it's fucking terrible to drive over there.
Yeah,
because they don't have like back roads or anything. It's like all highways. You got to take fucking Highway 70 and then get off of Highway 70 to get on 270, and then 270 is going to take you to fucking 63, I think. I don't remember. But you have to take all those highways just to go to the fucking grocery store.
Well, over here, no, you don't have to do that. That's not that bad. I mean, but there are only 2 main roads. There's I-95 and Route 1, and that's it. You know, you can take the back roads, but the back roads will give you another hour to everything. But hey, just to answer that question, it was we would have never guessed this, by the way. Professor John I.Q. Nerdlebaum Frank Jr.
From The Simpsons.
From the short.
I never heard his name.
Professor Frank is his.
Professor Frank sounds
is his short name, and it's voiced by Hank Azaria, who's awesome, and I love that guy.
Hank.
You know who Hank Azaria? He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy that he does all the other one. He does. Chief Wiggum.
He's the one in Along Came Polly. He's the one that banged out his wife in the beginning. The little elephant.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's that guy.
But he's also in he's in Godzilla. Nobody watches that movie.
Yeah, no, not which Godzilla you're talking about. You're talking about the Matthew Broderick one?
Matthew Broderick, the shitty one. Well, they're all shitty, but this one's the really bad. The thing about Godzilla is that all the shitty ones know they're being shitty. Yeah. And this one was trying to be serious, but it was fucking terrible.
The best person in the damn movie died in like the first 30 minutes.
You talking about the Chinese guy?
Freaking, what's his face from Breaking Bad?
Oh no, I'm not talking about that one either.
Which one are you talking about?
You said Matthew Broderick. You were talking one. Bryan Cranston.
That one was a comedy.
How many fucking Godzillas are there?
There's 17. There's another one coming now too, and this time it's for real. I don't know.
All right, so in my last podcast, I talked about you briefly because I had Trish listen to it. Trish is my wife, and I had her listen to that podcast, and she's like, it was really interesting when you said that thing about Jose. And I was like, I said a lot of things about Jose. And then she's like, well, when he went, I didn't know that he was going through boot camp right when 9/11 happened.
Oh yeah, that shit was kind of crazy.
I said it. I haven't. He hasn't listened to it yet. You haven't listened to it. So I basically said, Jose, it was there, and then I think when I was 12 or 13, you left. You went to boot camp right out of school because you're fucking crazy. And during the boot camp, I remember asking you that, like, what'd you go through? Because during boot camp, that was going into June, I believe, and then September 11th happened, and that was like the second to last week.
Yeah.
Or was it the last week?
No, it was. Remember, my birthday was September 17th. So I still had till October is when I was supposed to graduate.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of rifle range week. I couldn't tell you exactly what part of the training is, but it's more like the last phase. There's 3 phases.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in rifle range, and we were in the middle of it, and all I remember was everybody telling us to cease fire. And I remember Staff Sergeant Gerns. He was the crazy one. We had 3 drill instructors. One of them is our dad. The other one is like our mom, and then there's another one that just wants to murder us in our sleep. And he's the murderous one. And the first thing he said is, "We're going to fucking war. We're fucking going to war." And he looked at me, and he said, "You understand what I'm saying? You understand English, boy?" And I was like, because I think at that point, nobody thought I could speak English because of my name. And all you could say was, "I, sir, yes, or no, sir." So, like, I thought he was joking.
Mm-hmm.
Until...
What were you guys... I remember you said you guys were doing, like, target practice or some shit, or rifle?
Yeah, we were in rifle week, so we were zeroing in. We were learning how to use our weapons.
Uh-huh.
And that's when they told us, but I thought it was a joke. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, whatever. It wasn't until I got back.
What did they say it while you guys were just shooting? Like, hey, by the way, guys, this happened, or did they stop?
No,
they just stopped everything.
They just stopped, and they were talking amongst themselves, and I thought someone killed himself. Like, I thought that was because we heard a story about like a Marine that shot himself during the rifle range. So like they were being very cautious about that. But no. So 9/11 happened. We didn't know about it yet, and I think they were trying to decide how to tell us without us freaking out because we did have to still train. And it was that night. It was about probably.
So you didn't even know anything happened.
Not yet. It wasn't
until at night.
Yeah, it wasn't until 8 o'clock, and they didn't even tell everybody. What they did was they asked who was from New York, because 2 of my drill instructors were gone. They were both from New York, and they took off. So Gerns and the mother, which was Staff Sergeant Mitchell, he took off. So he went back to New York. And so they asked me, okay, so you're from New York. Do you have family in New York? I was like, I got some people in the city. And I got my parents that live in Rockland. And all. All right, you come with me. And I'm sitting there like, oh, shit, what the fuck is going on? Am I getting kicked out? What did I fucking do?
Wow.
And that's when my drill instructor, for the first time, took off his hat, which is I've never seen that before.
Shit.
And I was like, oh, he's about to whoop my ass.
I never heard this
And
part.
he put his hand on my arm, or not my arm, my shoulder.
On your
like,
dick.
He's like,
like, hey, buddy.
We got to talk. This is the real military. No.
Yeah, welcome to the Navy.
We fooled you. No. But in sincerity, he's like, hey, son, America's been attacked. And there was a terrorist attack in New York. And I'm sitting there like, for the first time, I was allowed to have like some sort of emotion. So like, I was really shitting my pants. Like, you said New York? He's like, yeah, you want to call your mom and dad? And I was like, yeah, of course. So he gave me his phone, and he let me call my mom.
He has a phone on him?
Well, they're drill instructors.
Those fucking drill instructors
now,
are full of shit.
Remember, Nicole was a drill instructor. My ex-wife, she was a drill instructor, so I was there when she was going through that. But I was dropping off McDonald's at her. They pretend to be these superheroes, but like they're eating McDonald's and shoving like Red Bull up their asses trying to keep up.
That's fucking all right.
Yeah,
all right,
but
so he takes out his phone.
He gives me his phone, and I try calling mom and dad, and they don't answer, and I'm freaking the fuck out, and I'm like,
wait, oh yeah, that day we were in the World Trade Centers. We just went to go visit. That didn't fucking happen.
Well, I was shitting, like I said, I was shitting my pants, and I didn't know what to do, and he saw that I started freaking out, and he made it worse, and he's like, look, son, I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll let you know if anything happens. If anything happens, we're going to cover this. Now, get back in there, but don't tell anybody until tomorrow, because that's when I want to tell everybody. I was like, yes, sir. He's like, I'm not fucking with you. Don't tell anybody. It's like, okay, sir. So
how are they going to know? How are they going to know if they find out?
No.
From somewhere else.
Well, we'll get the call because they're the point of contact. We'll get the call, or they'll get the call, and they're really good. The Marine Corps is good about that stuff. But we didn't know. They didn't know how to take it from there. All we knew was that night we put on extra security measures, we thought we were being punished for something we did wrong.
Yeah.
So instead of 2 people doing fire watch, what we call it, or basically security guard at night, there was like 6 of us watching all the windows, and there was an armed guard that wasn't a Marine recruiter. There was somebody there, like really taking care of us, and because what they heard was we were under attack. It wasn't until the next day that they finally came out and said this was a terrorist attack. It was the Pentagon. It was the World Trade Center. And
what were your thoughts when? Because he only told you that America was attacked. There was an attack in New York. That's all you heard, right?
That's all.
You didn't know specific. You didn't know it was
no specifics. No. Then that's why he was concerned. He just asked who was from New York, and that's
so he didn't even know.
He did. Yeah, nobody.
They just told him we've been attacked and New York was attacked.
Nobody knew anything except that the way that it was presented to us was America was under attack.
Damn, I thought they had TVs.
They do, and even us. If you remember, the way they announced it was America was under. Remember that it was a big iconic moment when they told President Bush America is under attack, and he sat there and he was like, "What the fuck."
He kind of just like, I remember too, like the kids are reading whatever.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like nods his head and he's like, his eyes widen.
Yep.
And he kind of just went, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And
why am I the president right now?
Yeah, that's exactly.
This isn't fun anymore.
Now put that on a wide spread epidemic of all the country's leaders. Someone just told them that. And people are looking at them like, well, now what? They all just went, okay, everybody just chill for a second. Let me figure out what the fuck's going on. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what happened. Then the next day, we had breakfast. They brought us back. They sat us down, and they showed us the video of what happened from the...
Wow.
From the...
Now, the way they presented it to you is definitely extremely different from the way I saw it, because you were told the night before, like, hey, listen, some shit went down in New York.
Yeah.
We're under attack. Yeah. You must have been thinking, what the fuck? Did like helicopters come in and just drop fucking I don't even know, a whole army, and they like is there under, are they like, did they fucking pretty much take over the city and now we have to go back in there and save them?
So we were thinking Red Dawn situation.
See what I mean? Like, you thought it was an invasion.
We thought, like, you know, on Toy Soldiers, remember with what's his face, Rudy was in it.
Yeah.
And like they took over the school and they're like, oh, that's us. We have to be that.
Uh-huh.
And but I'll be honest with you, that romantic notion of it was over pretty quick.
Yeah, because you guys knew.
Because at first we thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
And then when we saw the reality of it, then we started shitting our pants. Every single person in there started shitting their pants.
You know what's funny? The first thing that I said when I found out that we just got attacked, I swear to God, the very first thing that came out of my mouth was, Jose's got to be shitting his pants right now.
I did. It was...
on purpose.
It was like, I did it like, I'm getting out of here. No, it wasn't like that. It was...
Jesus
I swear
Christ,
to God, like, in my head, it was like... You got to look at it like, what's that old metaphor? Like the duck in water. Like, on the surface, I looked calm and ready.
But under the surface, there is shit coming right out of his ass.
I mean, like, if you could see inside my head, the first thought that came into my head is, son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they just told me college money and like...
That's another thing.
Traveling, and
a lot of my friends were asking me, like, dude, your brother is a Marine, isn't he? And I'm like, he's there right now, fucking training to go over there. And they were like, what the fuck? And then they're like he didn't go in because we weren't at war with anyone.
Yeah.
So only people I for some reason I think when we're at war and you join the Marines or the fucking army or anything, part of you wants to go because that's why you're joining the army or the military. But if you're joining and we're not at a wartime, which is why you joined,
that's exactly
it was for college money.
It was peacetime, and
God
I
damn,
was
man.
bored.
Yo, mom was fucking.
She was furious.
She was like, "That fucking idiot! I told him. Look at him. He's gonna go die for something stupid." And my dad and Pop is like, it's okay. Maybe he not go. And I'm like, it's over.
But you know what? There's a couple of things to this. All right. So the first thing is, it gives you an appreciation of people like Marco Seda. It gives you an appreciation of Danny Diaz and all the other kids that after 9/11 happened signed up. You know, that's true bravery at its finest. Like where they're like, oh, shit went down, we're there.
Exactly.
You know, not me who was just like, fuck, I'm here, so I got to do this.
And that I was like, yo, and I remember telling people like, do you think that because I feel like even the training is different, because I feel like if you're not at war, you train them because you want them to know stuff, but you know you're not at war. So, but if you're at war, you know, like you're listening more, and then I feel like the drill instructors will be like, all right, we're at war. We can't fuck this one up.
I can I can tell you so many things. It's like when we were in the training aspect of it, like we were going through like the 1970s, 80s, like recycled bullshit where we were learning line training and also learning this new Marine Corps martial arts program, which is the MMA, you know, the mixed martial arts, the new craze. We're going to do that. And like we were just starting off, so none of it really was like structured. It was just a bunch of bullshit. We were just testing things and like, hey, let's try this or let's try that. And so that was the attitude we had. But then when the shit hit the fan, it was like, all right, let's get serious and learn how to actually fight. Let's get serious and start getting equipment. We're sending people to Iraq with fucking flimsy ass vehicles. We just started learning how to armor those things up again for the desert.
Jesus.
And so it's just like the war.
So you know, it's really interesting to know that you were there in the military before and during and after the fucking attacks.
Dude, it's crazy. You could see the differences.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
And I was that's why I wanted to be like, because because you were during the training, right? And how many weeks were left? Training another like
probably
3
like
weeks.
a little bit less than a month, because like I said, September 11th, September 17th was my birthday. October 19th is when I graduated. So a little bit less than a month left.
Did you notice how bad were the changes in the training?
No, in the training remained the same in the sense of you're going to be one of the last people to do the last program, because you already done it. Like we don't have enough time to change anything right now. It was once I got to the fleet that things started like just right. Okay, you learned how to drive this truck, right? Well, that's bullshit now. Now there's new trucks. You learned how to do this with your uniform, right? Well, yeah, well, we have new uniforms now. You learned how to shoot with an M16, right? Yeah, we have M4s now.
Wow.
Like it just a complete like it's
even like your uniform and everything. That's
everything
all
changed. The Molly system or the the backpack.
What's the Molly system?
Things like the the
nuts.
backpacks that they have when they're marching or they're on hikes and all that. That system changed 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, because you would die out in the desert. You can't fucking walk around all that shit.
They were trying to figure out a way for us to carry more stuff and for it to be more practical, and it was just system after system after system just failing. They were just how can I put it?
It's like all trial and error now.
They opened up a market. Like if I can give you the best example, it's kind of like Comic-Con, right? So Comic-Con, when it first started, was probably like a bunch of geeks with comic books.
Still is,
right?
Man, a couple of prostitutes probably go in there dressed up like certain girls.
Right. But like now, what you have is it's entertainment business jumped in on it. The private sector jumped in on it, and now all of a sudden, like hot girls are dressing up because they think it's cute, and they show up to Comic-Con, and now it's a party, and now
so
it's
before now everybody wants to like show their support for the troops.
Before
and
it was just like I really like Superman and I really like Marines. Now it's like even the entertainment business showed up and started like, let's make some movies, let's get some patriotism in this. Let's get all this other shit. NFL, get your shit together and start doing the national anthem. Let's start like the marketing went up.
It's true, man. Like I remember watching NFL, and it was even on our football team, even fucking high school football. Like they had like, I remember for state finals. Yeah. For the state championship, they had fucking Army guys there, and their recruiters were coming in afterwards, and they were like, "Hey, listen, you want to fight for your country and this and that," and that's when like. All the militarism or whatever the fuck it's called. People are
patriotism,
nationalism, all that shit.
There's nothing wrong with that, because you know what? It did bring us together as a nation. Like we were attacked, and
it's
we were pissed.
And it's true. But like, and you notice it because like I remember 9/11 happened, and everybody it was just normal. People didn't like each other, whatever. People were mean. But probably that year, and then the Yankees won that year too in New York. I think the Yankees did win that year.
That was when there was the Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees.
No, I think the Yankees beat the Red Sox that year.
Oh yeah, and they thought they were gonna beat us because they were gonna beat the Curse of the Bambino.
Yeah, but they beat the Red Sox, and I forget who they fucking beat that year. But it doesn't matter. The Yankees won, and all I remember is there was fucking American flags on everybody's front yard. They had them on their cars. They had stickers. People were wearing fucking American flag shirts.
Yeah.
And everybody was being really nice to each other.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that patriotism. It's good and it's bad, right? Because, like, now there's people that are like, America, yeah, fucking, we're the best. And it's like, at some point you kind of want to tell them, yo, like, we're not the best at, like, a lot of things. There's a lot of things we are dead last at. So that's where I say it could be bad. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to continue talking about this military thing. Yeah. One of the things that Trish asked me was, because in my podcast, in the last one, I said Jose weaseled his way out of going to war.
I didn't look.
Because I was like, I was just fucking around. I didn't.
That's funny.
But like, I was like, that motherfucker weaseled his way out of getting out in fucking Iraq or Afghanistan.
It was.
I thought it was a very strategical play on your part.
I think it was serendipitous, is what it was. It was fortuitous. It was luck, because when we went to MOS school, that's how we learned how to do our jobs, and so we went to Fort Leonard Wood out in Missouri, this shithole of a
So
town.
you were where in Missouri?
We were close to St. Louis. We were in Fort Leonard Wood. So we were close to
How
St.
far
Louis.
is that from St. Louis?
It's far enough that we didn't feel the racism.
Oh, my God, man. I can talk all day about that.
Plus, we're the military, so they can't really fuck with us. You know what I mean? Like, they can't roll up in there and be like, you fucking, like, no. But
I'm sure they probably still did.
They're like outside just hating us quietly with an American flag. Like, thank you for your service, you son of a bitch.
You fucking N-word. And you wetbacks.
Those are the good ones. But no.
That's me spitting tobacco.
But whatchamacallit? No. So what was I saying? We're learning our MOS, and then right there and then, they asked us who wants to get deployed, and so I raised my hand. In my mind, I'm like, might as well get it over with now. I guess we only have to deploy once, right? Like, one time is all we have to deploy. So I raised my hand, not knowing anything. Remember, I'm 18 at the time, so I just raised my hand like, yeah, I'll get shot at first. I got this. The rest of you pussies stay here. Mm-hmm. What I didn't know is that
stupid.
What I didn't know is that, like, what they meant is, oh yeah, you're going overseas, but you're going to Japan. So like where Mr. Miyagi was at, and you're gonna fucking learn karate and fight bullies and shit. And no, so I went to Okinawa thinking, okay, so now I'm in Okinawa, and then they'll send me over there. No, instead they had me watching Korea.
How long were you in Okinawa?
About a year and a half.
That's Japan, right? No,
yeah.
I'm not really good with geography.
It is Japan, but it's kind of like how
I know it's like how many
how Puerto
islands?
Rico is America. Okinawa is Japan.
Okinawa. Okay, so Okinawa is Japan's Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, and it's only because no, it's probably the same exact thing, because America, remember the Iwo Jima and all that stuff? We took that shit during World War II.
So hold on, Okinawa wasn't even a part of Japan until we decided it is.
No, it was always a part of Japan.
Oh,
we took it from them because that was one of their bases, their air bases.
Oh, that's right. After fucking World War II, we said, all right, bitches. Yeah. Obviously, you don't need this island anymore.
Honestly, if you ever watch like the I think Flags of Our Fathers, they have some of the Okinawa situation where
that's a Clint Eastwood movie. Right?
It was a lot. Like we went on historical tours over there, historical tours of the caves where people committed suicide right at the end. Because the Americans were coming, and like we went to the black sands and all that stuff, and it's very, how do you call it, visceral. Like you could almost smell something in the air when you're there. You're just like, wow, like I don't want to be here anymore.
Jesus Christ!
Like people died here. Like people die everywhere. I was like, no, but not like this.
So Trish, I remember asking me what exactly you did, and I told her the only thing I knew, and this is from memory when I was a kid. I thought you were like almost like a mechanic. You were fixing the trucks or Humvees.
No. It's probably the most generic thing. They call it the second largest MOS. Mm-hmm. Grunts will call it the biggest pogue.
What's a grunt and what is an MOS? Because I don't know any of that.
A grunt is an infantryman.
So those are the guys at the front
those
line.
are the A team. That's the A team. They're like the elite. They're the real elite. Like if you want to talk about Marines, you talk about grunts.
And you were not a grunt.
And hell no, I was not. And that's
you're a little bitch.
That's a point that Marco Seda will tell you immediately.
Oh God, that guy. Yeah.
But no, he's right. No, he's absolutely right. The culture between grunts, because they're completely different people. They can do everything on their own. We're just their support.
So you were responsible for making sure that they had all their equipment.
So yeah, we're their logistics. So like, if you ever saw Black Hawk Down,
there's your background right there.
Yeah, you ever see the movie Black Hawk Down? So remember when they were driving trucks into?
It was fucking amazing. Yeah.
That would be what I do. Like, we have to have armored vehicles, and before they even had armor, we had to learn how to like armor our vehicle with sandbags, which that shit's scary. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, these sandbags will protect you.
Did you ever think you were gonna see action?
Yeah, from the get go, and that's because, like I said, second largest MOS, and then I don't know how to explain it to you, but if you look at the 2002 to 2005 statistics for death rate, grunts, of course, had the highest life expectancy, and then I don't know where we fell in there, but it was something along the lines of like 2 minutes in, you're dead. Because they're going to take out vehicles. They're going to take out, like, they're the easiest target because, you know, you can only move a convoy about 50 miles per hour. And those were the roadside
And that's
bombs,
all they had. They
only
had their IPGs and shit.
Yeah. And so they knew, like, those improvised explosive devices on the side of the road, these guys were getting blown up left and right. And so these guys were getting tagged up, hemmed up. And then after that, the radio operators with their big antenna. And, of course, go ahead and have a cross out there. I mean, they're not going to have crosses out there now. That's movie magic right there. But the snipers out there for the other side, they were pretty good, you know. So it's if you talk to Marines now that actually went through that shit, they're offended when new Marines come in, like brand new Marines. They call them boots or basic Marines. They come in and they say, "Oh, look at these pogues." And they're saying that to like a gunnery sergeant or a staff sergeant or even a sergeant that was at war, that has seen shit, and they're talking to him like, oh, or her, like, oh, you don't know shit. Like, little shit that there have been a lot of Marines, no matter what MOS, that have seen action because that wasn't a wartime situation. That was an insurgency. You know what I mean? That's like if we were here and then we just had a bunch of people fucking just attacking us nonstop while we're eating. Like right now.
Jesus
Could
Christ,
be someone like,
man.
hey, let's blow this fucking building up right now.
I remember thinking about it, like just wondering, oh my God, like he's gonna go to war? I'm having all these crazy fantasies. Yeah. And my friends are like, what are you gonna do when your brother gets shot? And I'm like, dude, that's gonna happen. Like, shut the fuck up. That could be a thing. And like,
I don't know, dude. Like I said, I looked at Okinawa. I went there, but then they made me like babysit Korea, and then I went to Thailand.
Here's the thing. I remember one instant you told me when I think this was in Korea. Yeah. Some guy just fucking spat in your face.
Yeah. Well, we went over there.
They didn't fucking like you. They don't like Americans over in South Korea, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to. Well, no. It's not that. It's you have
and
to.
You didn't shoot him.
You have to akin it to South Korea is our ally.
But I know. Yeah.
You have to contribute that to like saying there are Americans here that sympathize with Muslim culture, and then there are Americans here that will spit on a Muslim if they're walking down the street. That's what it was over there.
Oh, okay. So
like
that was like their redneck.
Yeah, like there were people there from the Korean War that appreciated the military, and the conservatives there knew that Americans were good. But then the college students there looked at us as conquerors, as bad people, as people that are there to just take over their culture.
You know, that's actually very interesting because you were able to see, and because you basically you represent America because you are military.
Just the act of being there, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to see like all those different countries, and you got to see the people and how they perceive us. And it looks like South Korea doesn't really fucking like us.
Well, I mean, it's tough to say. You can't bank one guy spitting on me.
Thank you.
As all of Korea hates America. No, that's not. In fact, one could argue that there's a lot of North Koreans that want America to save them.
Yeah. You know what's now? I actually watched. There was a documentary that I forget the name of the lady. She's I think she's Korean. She did a documentary where she was going into Korea to document a surgeon who was able to cure blindness, and so she wanted to document that. And so they said, "Oh, okay, we'll let you in for that only, though. You're not allowed to videotape certain things, and you have to have this guard and this guard. They're going to follow you throughout the entire ordeal. So as you're filming, they're going to tell you what you're allowed to film, what you can't film, places you can be and places you can't be. Yeah. And so, but here's the thing. she fucking saw everything, and she was like, just seeing the conditions that they live in North Korea, it's so fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people like living outside in trash, and it's fucking disgusting. Yeah. So I bet those people definitely want American influence. Like they want us in there, like fucking fixing everything, and
or even anybody. You know what I mean? Just somebody listen to them.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of times that's the impulse that people want. They just want to be heard.
And you know, they don't even know. They are not allowed to see movies outside of North Korea.
They have to black market that shit in there.
It's fucking crazy. So they don't even know what's going on outside of North Korea.
I love the idea of like a black market like a movie coming in there, like some bullshit like Adam Sandler movie, and they're like, I wish I could be like the Zohan.
Oh no, actually no. It's what's funny is I saw I don't know if it's the same documentary, but there's another documentary if it's not the same one, but it shows guys that are coming from South Korea and going into North Korea and smuggling in DVDs and like toys and shit and like some things they can use to like fleshlights and shit and dildos. Yeah. And they're bringing it in there. Yeah. They're bringing in porn. They're bringing in all these types of bootleg movies, and people are buying them. And that's the only way they can see it. But what's happening now is, and that's why Kim Jong-un is probably talking to fucking Donald Trump right now.
Yeah, I need some porn, bro. Like, hey, that's what he's telling. Yo, you got any hookers?
Hey, listen, Donald.
I heard you like to get peed on.
I saw that you banged Stormy Daniels, and I was wondering, can I get her number?
Let me hook that up.
No.
I'll take care of that. Just give me a couple of minutes. I gotta get America on my side again.
So here's the thing, though. The thing is, I saw that a lot of the people in North Korea are starting to speak out.
Yeah.
And normally that's not a thing. Like, you would be fucking hung if you said, and if you even look, like, you have to cry when something happens. Like, he's talking, I have to make it look like, oh, he's the savior. If you don't even do that, they fucking beat the shit out of you. But now people, because they're seeing so much media and influence from outside, because the internet is going to get its way in there no matter how hard you try to keep it out.
Even if one Korean gets a Netflix account, like all of Korea gets a Netflix account, and
that's my point.
That's all she wrote. That's it. Korea got Netflix.
So if you're listening, guys,
Orange is the New Black.
I want you guys to help.
Freedom.
This is to all the fans out there. I want you guys to help get our media into North Korea so they can listen about how my brother is American. He wants to go and help them.
Dude, I personally want to come.
He wants to go to help North Korea
and sleep with your women. No.
So well, I don't even know what we fucking talk. We're talking about. So you were in South Korea.
Yeah, so I was in South Korea, but right at the parallel. So like I was at
fucking
that.
Forgot about that.
By the way, I was at the border, and I got to see like the big motherfucking like the biggest Koreans you can think of. Like think The Rock, but like whiter, and they were sitting at the border just staring us down. And like there was
that's at the borderline of North and South.
North and South. So like there's just a perpetual stare down.
And there's fences and like bunkers and like shit.
It's more than symbolic. It's like what Donald Trump envisions a fence should be, like the biggest fucking Americans we got
for between us and Mexico.
And like a fence
Mexicans.
And like you got to do it the right way, bitch. Like that's what it was like. And so, like, I was sitting there, and I'm watching them, and I swear to God, I wanted to wave at them so bad. remember, at this time, I'm 19.
You're such a dick.
I'm 19, and they let me drink legally over there. So I'm looking at them like,
wow.
Yeah. I'm drinking that soju, which is like rice wine, and it'll kick your ass.
You know, that's another thing. It's fucking mind-blowing to me that you got 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds.
Well, I left at 17. That's another thing that, like, you have to, like, mom and dad had to sign me away, and they were fucking pissed. They were like, "Yo, in our country, you have to like serve
What is
mandatory."
She talking about? Pop was fighting when he was fucking 14.
No. But like, he did that shit because he was crazy, and then the National Army forced them to fight at 17. And so, like, for me to go, like, I'm going to go do this, they were like, "What are you, fucking stupid?" I was like, I saw it on a commercial. I want to fight a lava monster. And
what made you want to join the goddamn Marines, man?
To this day, I
just
can't.
Free college.
As a 17-year-old, no, because you can't say a 17-year-old was like, I am totally looking at the finances of everything. I think it was just, what every person goes through at every point in their life of what the hell what's next? You know what I mean? Like, after school, what's next? Everybody else has all these great ideas. You're going to college. You're going to this. I never really thought of that. I didn't even think we had the money to do that. Even though mom and dad did tell me, like, I have the money to send you to school. It's just like, yeah, but I don't even know what I want to do. So it's just one of those things like, Marines, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
It could, like, think about, that's how impulsive the move was. I could have went Navy. I could have went Army. Way more options for jobs. Way more options. I mean, I could have been
for Army,
like
right?
I could have been a doctor.
That's for Army. You talking about? Army's that's the biggest one.
Or even Navy. Like they have opportunities, but I want to say Juan influenced me, and then like, and then
Juan
was in the Coast Guard.
That's our cousin, by the way.
Yeah,
in case anybody was wondering.
But what I'm saying is, so like I think what it was you see where we come from. You understand them now. Like you hear how they talk, like our community, like these uber conservatives that think that immigrants are like murdering everybody and Muslims are raping their dogs. Or I don't know.
Obviously, yeah. The goats.
And they're the ones that spoke about, so I was kind of like indoctrinated into this mindset of military and team and junior ROTC and all this other stuff. And then my friends were talking about it, so I was like, what's going on over there? It's like, it's the fucking greatest thing ever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go try this out. I'm going to try. That sounds great. Peer pressure is a bitch. And I went in, and honestly, look, for what it was worth, if you were asking me to do it again, I would gladly do it again. Even if someone said, well, this time there's even a bigger possibility. Yep, I would do it again. Because
am I allowed to say what you're doing now?
Yeah.
We're allowed to say this on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, in that case, ladies and gentlemen, it comes with great honor to say, Jose, after being in the military for 5 years, and then continuing to work alongside with them as a civilian for another 5 years,
which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he worked. He was a Marine for 5. Well, I always say was, but you once a Marine, always a Marine, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
So he was enlisted, right?
Yeah,
as
enlisted.
a Marine.
So I was the blue collar side of it. I was the non-college educated, which is not fair to say that because they can be college educated and still be enlisted, but mostly.
So that's 5 years enlisted.
4 years. It was 4 years enlisted.
4 years enlisted as a Marine, and then another 5 years civilian working alongside.
No, more than that because
6 years.
So I got out in 2005. I started working in 2006. I stopped working with Base Motors for about 2 years, then came back. And then I stayed there all the way up until 2015.
Wow. So we're talking fucking 13, 14 years now, right?
So working with the United States Marine Corps as just a civilian government employee. They call them civilian Marines, which I don't agree with. Mm-hmm. But just a government employee, a GS for some of you guys that know out there. And then I was able to get a job with the DEA Academy. And I just work for them now. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I do just in case you guys like figure it out and they're like, oh, we're going to snitch on them. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But I'm allowed to say the company or the...
Yeah, I work for the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Which in case you don't know, that's the DEA.
The people that go after narcos.
He works for the DEA. So if you know anybody who is a drug lord... you can send me an email and I will forward that over to my brother and he'll can his ass.
Yeah, I'll let them know. But I just work for
about you, dude.
I think once again I have to definitely specify that I work for them. I'm not one of them.
Did you notice that you made that reference earlier about Breaking Bad?
Yeah. Yeah,
there you go. He's DEA. This is Hank Schrader over here.
Oh my
guys.
God, it's so funny. It's so funny. If I could talk about the DEA, I will. Well, I'll pick another day to talk about.
Yeah, we won't talk about that right now. I just wanted to name drop that shit because I have a DEA guy on my podcast. Yeah, it's my first. That's my first.
Again, I just work for them. I'm not one of them.
And like I said, he has not listened to the first podcast, so that's why he agreed to come onto this one. If he heard the first one, he probably wouldn't have come on. But it's too late now. He's already here.
It's basically what my decision was in the military. That's it. War happened, so. You're here.
It's crazy. Like, all right, so you were in, I remember you said Okinawa.
Yeah.
Which isn't Japan.
It's not Japan, but I did get to go to mainland. I did get to go to mainland Japan, which is a completely
different. Did you go to Tokyo?
I went to Fuji.
Oh shit.
And I didn't go to Tokyo, but it's beautiful. Look, if I could tell you this.
Do they treat you like rock stars?
Some of them do, but it depends on what you look like. So if you're black in Japan, there's like a good percentage that just loves you and the black culture. If you're a country white boy, there's a percentage of them that absolutely loves you. If you're Latino, and I'm not talking about like my kind of Latino, I'm talking about like fucking
Ricky
TV
Martin.
novella.
Telemundo guys.
Like Telemundo, like I like to do salsa. Like that's those motherfuckers.
Like Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. But like someone like me, they're like, who's this fucking little midget walking around? But if I speak Spanish to them, then they're interested, and then they want to try to speak to me. And then, it's the same thing of how how do you say this in Japanese? They say the same shit to you. How do you say this in Spanish? And tell me a curse word. Now say something like, and they love that stuff, which is the same thing.
Can they speak English better than we can speak
a lot
any
of them,
other language but English?
How can I put it this way? If you compare Japan to America, Japan tends to do everything with a sense of honor to the point where they're just better than us.
It's funny because I did say that I was watching a documentary. I like to watch a lot of TV and documentaries. So I was watching one on I don't know. I'm bad with names, but they were talking about sushi.
Yeah.
And there's this one place in Japan. It's $500, and only I think 15 people can be seated at a time. And the amount of fucking effort that goes into making just the rice, just the fucking rice, and then the seaweed, and then the way they choose which fish they're gonna buy at the fish market, and then the way they cut it, and then and they're also doing martial arts in the background while they're making the food, and that goes not just in the food, but then when you see the way they're making art. Yeah. Or the way they go, I'm gonna make a dessert now, and it's really, dude.
Just their writing alone, our writing. I'm not saying our writing isn't art, but it's just regular symbol. They're pretty basic symbols that we just tie together, and theirs is different. 3 symbols can equate to a philosophical, way of life to them. And it's just that one symbol means all of that. They're like, yes.
It's crazy because and I see them whenever they decide to do something.
Yeah.
They devote their whole fucking life,
and
this tradition has come from many generations before you. Oh,
do you guys still kill yourself? Some of us.
That was racist. I'm sorry if I.
That was really.
In case Angelo's listening.
But the thing is, that sounds really there's this guy that I work with. His name is he calls himself Jimmy Pang. But
Jimmy Pang.
But his actual name is it's just hard to say, so I'm not even gonna try and disrespect him like that. So just call me Jimmy. Jimmy Pang.
Just go call me Jimmy.
And people, it's very hard to understand him, but I have a patience for some reason with people with accents. So Jimmy's like, hi, hello, Neil, and you, and I will give him all the time. I will spend an hour to ask him how to turn on my computer, and just be like, Jimmy, how do I turn this on? Well, you. And
I can't. That's
that
is a silly voice.
But I'm not. I'm good at
That's how he sounds. No,
I'm good at mimicking people, and that's what he sounds like. But I will understand him because you just have to have patience with him. It's kind of like how some parents with their kids, you ever have a kid come up to you and they're like blah blah blah, and you're like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
And their parents are like, oh, he said this. Well, okay, you asshole, you love this one, so you give him the time of day to fucking listen to everything. I don't. Well, I kind of do.
You kind of want to tell the parents hey, listen. I don't love him.
I don't give
just
a
so
shit
you
about
know,
kid.
there's some shit going down with this kid. You need to fix this.
Fix this shit so he can communicate and live like the rest of us. Or
there you go.
I'm fucking him up. But no, I'm not. I'm usually really patient when it comes to people trying to communicate with me, especially if I know that they have an accent, because it's just I know that they're geniuses. There's a communication barrier.
So how much Japanese did you learn how to speak while being out there?
While I was there, I was probably fluent enough to know what my address was to get home, how to order my favorite meal.
Can you tell me your address right now in Japanese?
I remember the part of it where it was just gonana ichi achi, which is just the number.
You said gonads.
Yeah, it says
gonads and they're itchy.
Gonana.
It sounds
ichi achi.
It sounded like you said my gonads are itchy.
Yeah, and that's and then I remember there was a phrase book that said don't touch my mustache. What does that mean? It's it's don't touch my mustache. And don't touch my mustache. That's what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying? They're like, no, it's don't touch my mustache. I'm like, don't touch my mustache.
Don't touch my mustache.
Yeah,
I think I just said it. Did I say it good?
Yeah, you did.
I did. Yes, I can fucking speak Japanese. What's up?
Gomenasai, which is I'm sorry, and there was a lot of stuff that I knew at the time, and then when you're immersed in that, it depends on how well Americans are very arrogant. I just want you to know that I remember me and my friends walking into a place.
Goddamn right we are.
Yeah, and I swear
America,
to God,
baby, America.
They'd be like, "Oh, don't you guys understand?
We're the greatest country in the world."
Yeah, and then all right, so there was little things like my friends would go I want 3 of them, and they'd be like, "You want 3 of them?"
They do that too?
Yeah, they do because.
Okay, so what honestly, you can't see it on the podcast, but when you say the number 3, like with your fingers, you hold up, you fucking put your pinky and your thumb down and you hold the rest of them up. But he was doing like what I thought was just the Germany thing.
They start with their thumb.
So it's the thumb, then the point was at the index finger.
5. Yeah, so they start with basically starting from the thumb all the way to your pinky. That's the order that they go into to count. So
yeah, that's the same thing in Germany.
Yeah, and so that's how they do it. But actually, if you think about it, it makes sense because it hurts less. If you actually start to do, if you count your fingers starting with your
like
pointer finger,
like this,
yeah, pointer finger, middle finger, and then the ring finger, that kind of hurts. But if you do thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, and then ring finger, it kind of hurts less, but you can't really do it as well.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know.
Well, no, because they don't do this.
Well, I guess they can do that, and then, but they were like, once again, Japanese people, they're very nice, and no matter how mad you get, they just have this awesome composure. It's very conservative, like nice thing. And the best example was the cops there. Although they're rarely armed, they walk around with like these huge sticks. So they're like picture samurais, but instead of swords, they have sticks, and they're dressed as like little cute kid cops because they're so short. And they're walking around. They're like, please, and that's how they talk to us.
But now, did any of them know how to speak English, or they only spoke Japanese?
Not much of them. Some of them learn because they know they're dealing with Americans, and so they learn a little bit. But it's it's tough for these guys. What I want you to understand though is that if you ever fuck with one of them, these guys are 9th degree black belts, and they will fuck you up.
It's funny. I had a theory about that. I always used to say, I feel like everyone in Japan must be a fucking great martial artist.
No.
I think that was just me being fucking stereotypical or borderline racist.
Yeah.
But that's like a good kind of racist where you think, I'm afraid of all of them because I feel like they can all Bruce Lee my ass immediately.
It's interesting, but it's still bad.
That's why I was like, how did they ever lose? The only reason why they lost the war is because we dropped bombs on them. I'm surprised they didn't karate chop the atomic bomb out of the air. Because I feel like they're all martial arts experts.
Well, because we beat them with the one thing that... it's my theory. I'm not going to say that this is fact, but I think America beats countries with the one thing that they're fighting against constantly, which is... It's kind of poetic almost, where it's our diversity. You know what I mean? Like, the code talkers. We had that. It wasn't something we decided, like, you know what we should have? We should have Indians... and that'll be great. No, it was, hey, we happen to have this. We might as well use this.
Yeah, dude, that's another. How fucked up is that we took away their country?
Yep.
We're like, hey, Native Americans, or no, we call them Indians.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this isn't India. Like, fuck you. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So that was horrible. And then we murdered them.
And then we
colonized the place. And
then if you talk to some of these idiots today, and you ask them like, hey man, we kind of fucked up their thing over here. They're like, well, they were conquering themselves before we even got here. We just were doing what they were doing already. And I'm like,
that doesn't make it better. That's a crazy.
Interesting
little argument.
You get that still makes you like. That's like saying I came over to a beaten housewife and I also beat her.
No.
Because she was already beaten. So
there's that way of doing it, or I think the better way of explaining it is, listen, okay, we came and did what Hitler did, but better.
Okay, we didn't do what Hitler did. Come on.
What?
We didn't do.
Dude, did you hear some of the story? All right, so I read that there is like I don't know if you saw this, but like Christopher Columbus's fucking. There's like a diary out there, and there's like people had diaries where he came and raped
and murdered
and fucking murdered, and some of them would even show that like Christopher Columbus would beat people up, rape them, but then he would say, okay, heal them up again. So when they get healed, I'm going to go again at them until their fucking spirit is so goddamn broken, they're just going to have to do whatever we want.
I mean, I know that Chris did some crazy shit. Chris is crazy.
That's some and I read that shit because I have a lot of downtime at work, and that's what I read. And I was just like, and people were looking at me like, you all right, Brian? I'm like, I'm fine. I want to be alone.
Damn, that's some saw shit right there.
That's some crazy-ass shit right there, and that's Christopher Columbus.
But, okay, well, all right, yeah, we'll go with that. I agree with,
We just came and we did it better than them. That's all.
I mean, the point is, like, we have these people, and then they were still willing to fight for this country and the idea of
that's
this
country.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy, yeah.
Now let's get that. Japanese attacked us. Pearl Harbor happened. We put people into concentration camps. Japanese Americans, people that were born here, We put them and their fucking families into concentration camps just to protect ourselves. And people went with it like, yeah, well, you know, you guys are Japs. And so what happened was we were losing and we needed more men to go fight. And these Japanese men who are American citizens said to us, okay, we'll go. And they went and they became the most decorated unit in all of that war and fought for their country and earned that. And these are people that we shat on.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost poetic where America, like, we talk shit to each other. We treat each other in insane ways. But the idea of diversity in this country is what makes us what we are, and has consistently kept us as Americans. And the irony is that we keep falling into that same trap. Well, now we don't want Muslims. Now we don't want these fucking immigrants.
It's so crazy too, because like when I was in school, and I remember whenever I had a good teacher, I'd actually pay attention in class. And in one of my classes, I remember hearing about how when the Italians came here, Italians were fucking being like, "Hey, get the fuck out of our country, Italians! You're not real." And then then the Irish came like, "Oh, Irish people, you're not fucking real. Like, you got red hair and fucking freckles and white, super white skin. I don't like you." Then fucking, you know, Mexicans started coming in, or you know what? It's not even Mexicans. It's like it could be even like if you kind of look Mexican, you're like, "Hey, that's a Mexican right there." Like, what? No, I'm from Afghanistan.
that was how we were. That's honestly, by the way, remember growing up, we were all Mexicans.
Yeah,
all of us were Mexicans.
And I remember in on my bus, you know, like when they would say, "Where are you from? Where are your parents from?" I'm like, "Oh, my parents are from Nicaragua." They'd be like, "What part of Mexico is that from? Were your dad's pushing a lawnmower?" Yeah. And here's the shitty part. Is like, oh, he is actually. He has a landscaping company.
Dad didn't push a lawnmower. The
lawnmower pulled him. It pulled him over. So fuck you,
really,
right?
Really high tech.
Yeah, you don't know shit about landscaping. Yeah, I bet you know all about that, Brian. I bet you and your family do that all the time. Like, well, you know what? Yeah, I will fucking, if you need us to do the edging.
Yeah, but now
we can do the mulching.
But now if we try to turn around and use that against them and say, well, that's because our father was blue collar and you know, the real American right there. Well, not like us. Like, we work hard. You guys don't. Like, oh yeah, we're shitheads, I guess. Yeah. You know, we're not like you guys. We're not real Americans that follow the American dream.
One of the things growing up was people would make fun of us, make fun of me a lot for being like, they'd say, "Oh, you're Mexican and your dad's probably a landscaper or whatever." Yeah. And here's the thing that sucked is like, we're not Mexican. Oh yeah, is that his fucking lawnmower over there? And he's got a truck and he has a little landscaper coming. Okay, so you got me there, but he's not Mexican. So and it sucked. Yeah. And I remember fucking hating the way it felt. But then 9/11 happened. Yeah. And shit just shifted. And it went back to, like, now it's like Muslims. And now if you're Islam and Muslims and fucking we hate them. And I remember one of my friends, his name was Assad, great kid. He fucking genius, by the way. And me and him, we became friends in class. He sat next to me because his name was Assad Ahmad. Yeah. And BC, so that's like right next to him. So that's where we fell in the
alphabetically
we just sat next to each other.
Circumstances.
Yeah, circumstances. But we became friends. And when people started making fun of him, all I could think was, yo, this is like what happened to me. So I was like, hey, fuck you guys. He's off limits. Leave him alone, right? Yeah. And we became friends. And so that, like, I feel like Hispanics for a long time were, like, put back on the back burner. No. And people were starting making fun of Muslims because, listen, you don't know the culture back then.
They were just an easier target.
They were way easier. So they attacked them. And I feel like Hispanics were left away. Yeah. And now I think Hispanics are starting to come back like, oh, well, fuck Hispanics again. Make that wall. Like, he fucking brought up the wall. Like, what the fuck?
It's just old. It's because, like I said, it's just all about targets. And, you know, people are so willing to blame other people for their problems. And that's why, like, it brings me back to, you remember how, like, you were saying, like, oh, fucking rich people. I'm not defending them. I'm not defending them.
All right, so before we start this, I want everybody to know that I had said something earlier today to Jose, and I said, fuck rich people, I hate them. And then he's like, what? Why fuck would he have against rich people? And I'm like, I hate them, they're pieces of shit. And so Jose's like...
all of them, all of the fucking pieces.
Before Jose could do his rebuttal, I said, leave it for the podcast. Yeah. And so now here he is, he's been fucking waiting for it, so here we go.
It's been in the shot. No. It's okay, this is...
He wants to defend the rich.
It's still spur of the moment. I'm still going to go with... I'm not defending the rich. I'm just defending this idea of, like, I get when people say, you know, we have to let people do things on their own. I get that you know, there's some people that are just there are people quick to use the race card. There are people quick to use the victim role. And there are people that used to say, everybody's out to get me. And they never put any responsibility on themselves. You know what I mean? But it when you say rich people, not all of them. Some of them are rich people because they work their asses off. Some of them are rich people because they've gotten to that point and they figured out how to do it. So, like, for example, you sell furniture, right?
Well, no,
I mean,
not necessarily.
Okay,
not necessarily.
Okay, so you sell. You're a salesman.
I'm a salesperson, yes.
You're a salesperson. Are you going politically correct or?
Yes.
You're not a salesman.
I'm
you're
a salesperson because in case there's any women out there that think, hey, I could be a salesman.
Okay, you know what? I apologize for using
We
that.
love women, obviously. We love them.
We love them and all the skirts.
I'm going to have women on the show.
Yeah. So you're a salesperson, and so you sell to people. You gotta agree with the thing that you get a sucker every now and then, and you know that they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and you kind of take advantage of it.
Those are the rich people. Yeah, I fucking shit down their throats.
Right. But like,
it's so funny because when I get
is it always the rich people?
Yes.
Or is it just some people that are just dumb?
So the people that are dumb normally are rich, and the people that are not dumb, well, actually. There's certain different levels of dumb.
I gotta disagree with that.
There's different levels of dumb, though. Like, so there's a guy who's poor, right? He's going to be smart-ish by going, this doesn't seem right with the pricing on that, right? Rich person, they don't give a fuck. They're going to be like, how much is I don't give a shit. Just here, take my money.
But that's not dumb. That's someone that can afford that lackluster decision. That's why I'm saying most people that get fucked over, like the people that like can't pay for those couches. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and those are the people I feel the worst about.
They're the ones that were upsold.
We have and it's just funny because we have and you said you're still talking about like the product, and I'm like trying not to talk about the products at all. But I have people that come in,
products,
that try to buy products from me.
The drugs.
Yeah, it's drugs. I'm a drug lord because I am from Nicaragua. I have the connections. But no, I have people that come in and they can't afford any of the stuff that they need, right? And we have financing accounts that they can open up. But for people like this who don't have a lot of money and they don't have – generally, if they don't have money, they don't have the best credit either.
Yeah.
So we have financing that's designed to fuck them over. So like here we have an account. I could have you open the account.
Yes.
And if you open the account, you're going to have no interest for 3 months.
Yeah.
And if you pay it out within the 3 months, you're good.
But they never do.
They never do. Exactly. And it's designed so that now you're paying double the amount. And if you don't pay it, guess what? Your furniture is going to get repossessed. Yeah. So let's say you went 9 months. Yeah. It's a 12-month period. So if you go 9 months, you've already paid more than the product is worth.
Yeah.
So we're now going to take the furniture back from you because you can't afford it anymore. You will not get any more. You're not getting the money back. We keep that money and we keep the furniture. Yeah. So now I can sell this furniture to someone else. Mm-hmm. And that's horrible. And that's the way the country is for the most part. Like, and I've worked in each state has their own different rules. Yep. So like, I remember in New York, we had the company, but instead of it being double the amount, it's triple the amount. So triple the amount of the furniture. So if you buy something that's $1,000, now it's going to cost you $3,000 to have it. Okay. At the end of the day. And then the way you get out of paying all that money is if you buy out the product. You have to buy out the contract. So if you do it within like 7 months and you buy the contract out, so now instead of paying triple the amount, you paid about double the amount. So you're saving money that way. But here's the thing. In New Jersey, it's different. It's illegal to do that. You can't have that financing in New Jersey. So the company has to abide by New Jersey's laws. Yeah. So in some sick way, Jersey, and I fucking hate Jersey, is a better place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, like when you come to regulations, you see how businesses, they try to fight against that because they know that that's the crux of how they make the money. Now, does that make them evil? No, because they're there to make money, and and I hate to say it, but people's ignorance is how they make the money off of it. And then capital is what really is the best tool to make. If you have money going into a place, you kind of are in a better position.
That's my point, and that's why I fucking hate it. Rich, because like here's the thing. If you're rich, you have all the resources, all the cheat codes are on your side.
Right.
If you are poor, you're fucking start with a pistol, and you go in there, go ahead and fight these zombies now, because that's what you're getting.
But you're supposed to figure out a way to get the capital to do that, and people don't.
But the thing is designed. One of the things that gets me angry about rich people is when and I'm talking about the limitless rich people, the people who are so fucking rich.
We're talking about the uber rich. We're talking about
the uber rich. Because, and my point is, I feel like the richer you get, the greedier you are, which makes no sense.
I mean, it does make sense because it's kind of like this. Doesn't it make sense that someone who is greedy is the person that amassed that much money?
But here now, okay,
that needs to be a trait attributed to that kind of person.
But you're saying I'm saying those people are pieces of shit, and you're saying I don't think they're pieces of shit because the people who are that rich, they want to remain that rich, but they also don't want anyone to be as rich as them.
I don't think it's about money for those people. It's about winning. It's about like
how much more can you win? Like it's funny because like it's like if me and you were playing a video game, and I'm really good at that video game, and it's not good enough. I can't just be good at that video.
You
game.
have to be the
I
best.
want you. I want to. Almost to the point where like I'm so good. I'm so good at this video game that Jose, who played me, should be killed. Yeah. Somebody come and get a knife and stab him in the face.
You don't see that already? You don't see people that like have become so great that they just go out there to humiliate. They run around with knives in Call of Duty and like humiliate you and then fucking teabag you. Like that's this competitive.
Yeah, that's
edge
that's
that
a fucking
have.
human.
Right.
That's fucked up.
That doesn't make them necessarily a piece of shit, but that's an evolutionary trait where like people just can't stop. And I'll give you another example that's kind of more acceptable. We actually fucking cherish this kind of attitude. Cal Ripken Jr. playing past his prime. Fucking Tom Brady still going at it.
No, I can guarantee you 90% of the country fucking hates Tom Brady. Okay, I like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a bad example for a lot of people. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like there are some people that revere this thing of like, look at this 40-year-old Brett Favre still going at it, like still doing it, showing us that old men still do it, and it's veterans. And we see that, and this is competitive edge where it's like, dude, you're gonna die if you keep doing it. And I'll die on the ring, or I'll die on the turf, or I'll die.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And they just keep going because there's no way to shut that off. And then there's just some people like that. One of the best points I heard was Hillary Clinton's a bitch. I was like, okay, doesn't it make sense that someone trying to be the boss is going to be a bitch and an asshole?
Yeah, that's the biggest reason why I couldn't be a manager, dude.
You gotta be a bitch.
You gotta be a dick. You gotta be an asshole. Because it's like there's good on there's a lot of good guys and bad guys on both sides.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like the guys that are the bad guys on the poor people's side are fucking killing each other.
Yeah.
The guys that are the bad guys on the rich people's side are getting us to kill each other.
Yeah.
Or like that's pretty much what it is. And I think that no one should have that much power. That amount of power who can just say, I will wire transfer $1.5 million into your account if you kill your whole family. And I'll make sure that you get off.
But is it that? I don't know. That's kind of a philosophical kind of like situation or scenario.
But
there.
that's what they're doing. You think rich people aren't doing that?
But we've been talking about stuff like that for ages. Think about.
And by the way, I'm talking about super rich. I'm not talking about fucking.
Even so, like we've been talking about that kind of situation for years. And if you don't believe me, think about King Midas' story. He fucking asked to turn everything into gold because that's what he wanted.
And he found out, I'm a piece of shit.
And he found out that he's a piece of shit.
This sounds like you're making my point.
No. He found out that he's a piece of shit, but he still wants it. Like that's the thing. He ended up losing in the end.
No, and then he said he learned the error of his ways at the end of it. He's like, I fucked up.
No, he became because even so, he fixed it. He fixed it, and he just said, "Well, I still want gold." And I think there was one more thing that we got to look into that. But
I'll make sure
from what I understand,
in the next podcast,
the god of celebration and drinking, basically, the drinking god is the one that gave him that ability.
Yeah.
And so. After he took it away, he said, all right, I feel sorry. All you got to do is go wash your hands in the river, blah, 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 and you'll be fine. But then he talked shit to somebody. He talked shit, and somehow he ended up...
shit by nature.
Yeah. He said you can never tell anybody this, but he couldn't help it. Mm-hmm. He couldn't help himself. And so basically the story was about how humans, we just can't help ourselves. It's just who we are.
But don't you find... people who are extremely rich that don't like buy all the crazy gadgets and spend all, throw their money around and throw their weight around.
Even if they do, it's almost menial. It's kind of like this.
Okay, so I actually have a real story to tell you. That's kind of funny. I took Trisha out to a. It's my wife, by the way. I took Trisha out.
She's white.
It was. I think it was for.
That matters.
It was either for her birthday or it was for. I think it was for her birthday, and we went to New York City. And I took her to a restaurant called the Modern.
The Modern?
Yeah, the Modern. It's by the Museum of Modern Arts. And
oh, that's why they call it.
Yeah. It's got Michelin star. This is I'm not plugging them. I'm not getting paid by the Modern, but if you want to go there, it's fucking awesome. So we went there, and when we were going in to see Trish, because she doesn't go to these type of places. This is the first time she's ever been to a restaurant like this, upscale, very fancy, like fine dining kind of shit. And I wanted her to see that. So when I took her there, to see her face, she was like fucking deer caught in a headlight. She's just like freaking out, like, oh my God, it's so amazing. She was so happy, so appreciative of the fact that I was taking her to this place. And even me to this day, I'm like, I fucking love going to those spots because it makes you feel cool. But I also treated everybody with dignity. And then we saw a family. When we were walking in, we had reservations. We saw a family come in right before us. And the family before us came in. They're fucking decked out. The kids are wearing like designer clothes. They're little kids. And then the wife is like already going, ooh, you think this place has a kids menu? You think this would be a nice place for the kids? Hey, we didn't make reservations. We just kind of walked in. Is it cool if we just sit? I mean, we gotta sit. Do you have kids menu? You think you have good wine? Like she's being a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
And Trish doesn't like say anything. She's a fucking nice person. She's the nicest person in the world. She's a pacifist. But even her, she was like, this lady's a fucking bitch. Yeah. And I was just like, I know. I'm glad you saw that. Yeah. But like, that's the type of like that's what I mean when I say sometimes rich people, and this goes back into that bubble thing I was talking about before in my first podcast, that they're just in a fucking bubble and they have no concept of reality outside of what their world is. Their world they think is everyone obviously caters to me. Yeah. Like what the fuck? Like, where's the kids menu for my kids and where's my table? I don't fucking need to make reservations at this place.
I personally don't think that that's a rich people thing, and I don't want to go delve into race things. But
oh, you think that's a white person thing?
Can we just go first world on that one, or
first world,
or an American thing?
First world, yeah, you're right.
Like,
first world.
So I don't know if you guys, I don't know if anybody watches Netflix out there, but there's this documentary called Ugly Delicious. And one of the ones is talking about the Chinese restaurants and all that stuff, right? Where, as a New Yorker, I will go into a fucking D-rated restaurant and eat food happily and be like, this shit's gonna
like the
be
buffet.
good.
We just ate at a buffet. I fucking still full from that.
It's fucking great. I'm gonna love it. But like, but if the bathrooms aren't clean, if there's even a hint of like subpar like standards in there's tendencies for a lot of Americans to go, I'm not eating there, it's dirty, and they probably serve cat food or cat
meat. Yeah, that's cat.
You know, and that's a stereotype. By the way,
you know what's funny? Because like the poor, like not poor, but like so like my coworkers, the people who are like lower, like mostly minorities, because we grew up in poor households, poor-ish. And we joke about it. We're like, I'm eating beef or broccoli from the Chinese restaurant. I'm going, oh, this cat tastes great.
It's a joke to
us. Might be rat. Let me try it. And they're like, yeah, that's sewer rat. I can taste it. It's great meat, very succulent. Yeah. So we joke about that kind of shit. But you see what I mean? And then rich people, they don't see the humor in it. They're like, how dare you even try? How preposterous that you would even deem.
Yeah, and these are the same assholes that like they say like, don't put MSG in my food. They're like, oh yeah,
those are liberals.
Yeah, as they're shoving fucking potato chips and fucking all their cereals and even the people that put like even like some Sadiddy Hispanic people, they're like, I would never eat MSG. It's like, yo, what do you think sazon is, you fucking asshole?
That's got MSG all.
What do you think adobo is? That's all MSG. That's all it is. And people, it's delicious.
It does get out of hand.
Yeah,
at times
it does. And people say it's harmless. It's harmless in certain things, like. You know, during the podcast, we're only bringing that out, but me and Brian are talking about it. You know, it's with us. That's how we grew up, and that's me and him.
That's our point of view. I wish I could have a rich fucking person on here. Like I want them to be significantly rich, though. but that's never gonna happen.
We're gonna need Bill Gates on our
If
podcast.
Bill Gates was on, and I wonder what he would say. Well, first of all, Bill Gates would be like, I don't fucking know.
Whoop your
you know how
ass.
much money I donate? Like, the fuck do I care?
Whoop your ass. What the fuck? You didn't even know.
The thing, here's the thing though. Like, I don't want to say that I hate rich people because I know that there's good rich people, right? Like Bill Gates does. He does donate a lot to charities, and I've seen a lot of football players and like or athletes donate or do to the Make-A-Wish foundations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's too far in between. Like most rich people do not know what it's like to be your average American.
No,
and hence why we say the 10% of the people that are very rich, they're never good. Like there's that joke that's I forget. I think it was Gary Goldman. Yeah. Gary Goldman's a comedian, and he said the joke about walking over to his car, and he saw what looked like a ticket, a parking ticket was put on his car.
Yeah.
And so that first feeling is, oh fuck, I got a parking ticket.
That just ruined my fucking paycheck for the next 3 fucking months.
But then he saw, that parking ticket was actually just a free coupon to go to Best Buy, and he was like, oh shit, it's a Best Buy coupon. And he's like, Bill Gates or anybody like Bill Gates will never get to ride that emotional roller coaster the way I did.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Like, poor people like us, I don't want to keep saying poor because we're not poor. Like poor people in like fucking Nicaragua and poor people in like fucking third world countries.
We're middle class. Well, I think we're middle class.
I don't think we're middle class.
I think we're middle class at our point in our lives.
Well, it feels good to be middle class.
I mean, if you have one car and you have a place to stay and you have a steady job and you can go on vacations, I think you've achieved like lower middle class.
Okay. So you see what I mean? But even we can still sympathize with like what a poor person would have and like some of the stuff.
We grew up like that.
I guess.
Yeah.
So it goes with that whole thing. Like I think people should just grow up poor and get to that point of richness.
I think the fucked up part is how fucking conservatives or how people call themselves conservatives. I'm just gonna call them old people. Look at young people now and they say they're such entitled pieces of shit. And it's just like, no, that we're bringing up the same, and I say we, but like it's
like the same arguments.
They're bringing the same
itself.
arguments that you guys brought up, where like you guys wanted wages so that you can raise your families back in the day, but that was back in the manufacturing days. Those days are over.
Yeah. And
now it's a service industry day, but it costs so much money to get college educated just to do that.
And that's another thing, dude. That's the biggest reason why that's the only reason why I didn't go to college.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't go to college is because it costs so much fucking money. And rich people are like, which college do you want to go to, son? Don't worry, I know the deans. Yeah. All of them. They're on my payroll.
Yeah. And it's self-defeating, too, the attitude that they have, because it's just like...
Why aren't anyone else trying to get better educated like my son did? Yeah. Because I fucking paid for the whole path.
Well, it's not even that. You're even getting the other side of the attitude, which is shut the fuck up, college boy. Come do blue-collar work. That's how you really do it. It was like, yeah, but... Like, then you get mad when we have to bring in people from other countries to do, like, highly educated jobs, and then all of a sudden they took our jobs, and also manufacturing jobs are being exported to other countries, and you're getting mad. Well, like, oh, but that's businesses, and those are people. Now I can see where you guys are going into the whole, well, damn, rich people. It's like, well, you're fucking praising them and saying they're great, and they're doing it, and you're giving them the tools instead of telling them, hey, fuck faces, I love that you guys are rich, but you guys need to turn that shit around and give some of us to us.
But that goes against what their mindset is.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I'm trying to say is, at some point, like, it's enough is enough. Like, you won. Like, that's like you're kicking a guy who's dead. Like, oh, I'm gonna keep this goes beyond kicking them while they're down. You're kicking a dead body. No, it's skeletons at this point.
Okay, to be fair though, I look at America.
I feel like you sense a lot of my anger right now.
No, I do.
You're sensing it.
I do, but it's one of those things where it's just like, at the same time, it's the same attitude that I get from a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And in the back of my head, it's just like, oh, you guys have no idea what's coming, right? Like, pretty soon, you're not just, like, you can go ahead and talk about this thing of you're going to put up a wall and only this household is going to exist, this household of America. But you're out of your fucking mind if you don't think the global market is going to take this over. You're out of your mind if you don't think the rest of the world is going to catch on to our fucking our way of doing things, and then learn and then figure shit out because of the internet, and then they're going to start competing against us, and we're going to start losing. So like this nice and cushy life that you're living in, where you have a house and a car and all that stuff, I mean, you've been in Nicaragua. You see the way they live compared to the way they live here.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah. We're all going to we're going to feel this horrible thing of wealth distribution on a global scale. And then you guys' way of living is going to lower dramatically. And you're going to wonder why. And it's just because that's what's going to happen. And people are getting mad. So
well, it's already happening.
Yeah.
Because there's guys, like you said, whose jobs were fucking shipped out to China and fucking Thailand. Like, the product that we sell, it's all made in Vietnam.
Yep.
And fucking Thailand and in fucking China.
And I think companies are hip to that game, and that's why they're trying to fucking save as much money as they want. So they're automating things. They're, they just...
Or even, you can't even call, like, when I try to call my credit card.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to pay my bill.
You just keep pressing zero.
But I can't fucking figure it out, so you hit zero.
You just keep pressing zero.
And
zero,
then,
zero, zero,
and
zero.
then
Give me
like,
that fucking operator,
you
bitch.
get a fucking operator from India, like, hello, sir, blah, 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 boo. And you're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, can I just have somebody else? And it's not because you're trying to be racist. It's just like, dude, this is going to go a lot longer, and I want it to be shorter because I don't even want to pay the bill. So if you can just give me someone else, and that's what companies, they don't even fucking want you to like talk to Americans here because they get paid too much.
They get paid too much.
I'm not paying this guy $12 an hour. I'd rather pay that guy 50 cents.
I gotta pay this guy money so that he can live, and then
like,
so
fuck
that.
That's a drag, cutting into my bonus money, and that's when I get to that's why I get so angry with people who are crazy rich, but I see your point now. And I think your point is we are letting them do that. And
the thing
so maybe you're right. Maybe poor people are fucking retarded.
The information is there. Here's the thing. The information is there. Like, they act as though there's some, like, secret and there's a secret society out there beating them up. That's not
maybe there is.
The case.
I don't know. Maybe the Illuminati are watching over us.
All right, so I just bought this house, right? Like, I just bought a house. And instead of just fucking watching HGTV and like falling in love with this romanticized notion of like, can I have this? It's like you were saying. I went in there and I said, hey, I want to buy this house. I was like, oh well, if you don't have money for closing, we'll just tack that on to your sale price and we'll roll it in. I was like, yeah, but won't that add like how much money to interest? Like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to pay triple in the long run. Like, no,
exactly.
I want to keep that low. And then you start realizing the game. Oh, you guys get paid based off the sale price. Fuck you guys. I don't give a shit about you guys. You guys.
They get paid a higher commission.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, well, you don't want to push those guys because the closing costs, that might be like for the seller. I don't give a shit about the seller. I don't give a fuck about his life at all. I care about me and my life. Like, fuck that guy. Like, tell him if he wants to make this sale, this is what I'm going to do. And you start learning by going online and asking other people, hey, what did you guys do in this situation? And you get some good advice for some people and at least some good guidelines. And then you start investigating and then you start learning how to do the math. Like,
now this is something you would not have been able to do had it not been for the internet.
If you talk to a real estate agent, they're going to fucking lie to you.
Yeah, they're going to say whatever they fucking can to get money in their pocket.
They're going to be like, why don't you let me handle this? It's really tough. And the point system, we'll work with the point system to make it work in your favor. And all
and interest rates are only getting higher now.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking into buying a house.
Yeah, they went from 3.5 to 4.25.
It's like 4.25.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. And I almost said, I was pretty much like, that's it, babe. We're not buying a fucking house. Fuck this shit. I'm not paying extra interest.
Yeah. And they try to tell you things like that's supposed to make you feel better. Like, well, back in 2009, 2010, the interest rates were at 11%. I was like, I don't give a fuck about that time. I'm talking about now. Yeah. What can you do for me now? The fuck? In the 1960s, people...
This is capitalism, all right? I'm trying to save my money.
In the 1960s, we weren't even allowed to interracial marriage. I don't care. We can do that now. Like, I think times change. Fuck off. So my point is, the information's out there. You just have to apply yourself. But some people don't know how to do it. And that's the sad reality of it, where as a nation, we should be able to absorb some of this learning curve where like some of our people just aren't at the same level as the rest of us.
All right, so now there's another thing behind that as well. It's our education system. Like, let's be honest, it's not good. Our education is so bad. Like, look how many people are dropping out or not going to college because they can't afford it. And every year we cut more budget. Like, you have teachers are going on strike. They're walking out of school. Yeah. I mean, I think that happened. Did it happen here in Virginia? I think it did happen here in Virginia.
Yeah, it did. It happened here in Virginia. It happened in North Carolina.
And it happened in Oklahoma. So the first place that happened was I believe Oklahoma.
It was West Virginia, here, North Carolina, and Oklahoma.
Pretty much all the teachers. It was like fucking all of them just said we're walking out.
Yeah.
So first the students were doing it because of like the guns and people getting shot and like all that stuff. That's crazy in itself. But then the teachers were like, yo, look at our kids are fighting for their life. Like we should start fighting too because there are a lot of things that are. It's not just that. There are so many things going wrong with our education system.
Yeah.
And I mean, do the math. If our education system has been shitty for I don't know the past 10, 15 years, because we've been out of school for a while. Yeah. So if it's been bad for that
I'm still
long,
in school, by the way.
Oh well, yeah, there you go. I'm still in school. So if you're going to school and it's not teaching you anything, so we just got a bunch of morons coming out of school now, and then all people can say is, "Oh, these kids are dumb." Like, well, dude, you fucking ruined their education. There's not a lot of money going into schools. There are like countless schools across the nation don't have the budget to pay for those extra programs. It's those extracurricular activities that they're not getting anything from. Yeah. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it's very limiting to kids.
We're not keeping up with the times is what it is. We're not keeping up with the times. So we have real estate that predominantly pays for schools. So like me buying this house is helping out the schools locally. But the property values here are only just starting to get better. So that means the schools are only just going to start seeing that money and not even that much of it. But the thing is, Stafford is a very conservative looking area, so it's like
that's Stafford, Virginia.
Yeah, Stafford, Virginia. So how are they gonna like start teaching their kids? They fucking hate Common Core math without even understanding what it is and why they do it. Yeah. They fucking hate evolution. They think science and media is out to get them. So
everything's about fake news, so you can't even listen to like.
They concentrate more about like the Pledge of Allegiance than how the fuck is Billy doing with fucking school, and they worry about like transgender and lesbian or LGBTQ. I don't know all the letters.
Yeah, all the alphabet.
I'm sorry if I left you out.
It's almost like it's almost like when you have the defense in a courtroom.
Yeah.
All you have to do, we don't have to prove that he's innocent.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely fucking guilty.
Yeah.
What we need to do is
distract everybody.
Create some kind of reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Because this guy could eat like fucking, what's his name? O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Like, listen, dude, that guy fucking straight up murdered both of them. But if we just create a little bit of reasonable doubt, that's it. It's over. We won the case. Because you have to be able to prove without a reasonable doubt. So if you create that, hold on. I'm just taking a picture. We're doing a selfie while we're doing this podcast.
It's too late. Yeah.
But if you create that reasonable doubt, then that's it. He's off. He's off to go out and fucking go back into the world. And I think that's what's going on with like facts. Like if I have facts on my side and all the stats and everything to prove my case, all you have to do is say, well, there's a million other alternate facts, alternative facts, like they said on fucking Fox. There's a million other alternative facts. So how do we know your facts are actually the right ones?
Yeah.
That's it. That's that reasonable doubt. Now, we went out and we fucking counted, or we took a consensus, or we have the data here. We've recorded all the data and we've done the experimenting and we were able to prove it, but no, we can't because you're just two guys.
But people latch on to anything, and that's the thing. All right, so I had this theory come up, and it wasn't a theory. I mean, you can actually see it. So, why is it that people say that Black and Hispanic and gays are hard to hire? And it's just basically because there's not a whole lot of proof that that if you hire them or that particular group that they're going to be great. So if you have a situation where you have historically mostly white people doing stuff, 80-90% of them are successful. There's that 10% that's just like, shit. But 80-90% sounds great, right? Now, you don't have that many people being hired that are Black or Hispanic or woman into a certain situation. And if one Hispanic person goes into it and they do bad, well, fucking can't hire Hispanics, man. They're all shitty, historically speaking. That's one guy.
Yeah.
For like ever, white people have done this. One guy. So that one black guy has to have like 100% success rate in order for us to hire another one. And then that next person has to. So for the next 20, 30, 40 years, we have to have 100% success rate of everybody that comes in there to average out to what white people have done, or Hispanics or women. And oh, geez, perfect example would be Barack Obama came in there. He's iffy. Let's say that he was 65%, and that's, I mean, I don't know if I'm being generous. I'm not taking sides here. I'm just saying, whatever you think Obama did and how he did in office,
he wasn't perfect.
Is how you're gonna view any other person that looks like him. Donald Trump comes out here though, and like people are just love him. I love him.
What?
He's great. They are. Like let's.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Donald Trump is bringing the nation together, or
with hatred.
With hatred.
Yeah.
And or it's either hatred.
It works kind of
because there's a lot of people that hate him as well.
Yeah.
And those people used to have differences with one another.
Yeah.
But have come together and said, hey, you know what? Like there's the people that were Hillary supporters.
Yeah.
And then there was the people that were the Bernie supporters.
Yeah.
They hated each other.
Yeah, that was weird. That was interesting.
Yeah, because they were saying, "Yo, listen, Hillary is the woman. She's the one that needs to be in office." And they drank that Kool-Aid, and the people who were with Bernie, they drank that Kool-Aid and said, "No, he's the guy." So they hated each other.
Yeah.
But those two groups have come together and said, "We've made a mistake because we were bickering with one another. That fucking guy is in office."
Well, no, it's not just that. All right, I'm going to say something else. This is unrelated, guys. Unrelated. Not political. Not at all. All right, so we have a situation where we talk about popular vote versus what do you call it?
This is teetering along that line, by the way, because I tried really hard not to have any political
No,
stuff.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just fun with geography. Here we go.
Yeah, it's fun with geography.
Fun with geography. Here we go. So we talk about the popular vote, and okay, yeah, we can debate on whether there was fucking foul play, on whether or not there was fraud in voter fraud or anything like that. But the point is, someone won the popular vote, someone won the electoral college. And you can argue that the electoral college is supposed to be so that everybody gets an equal representation when it comes to voting. But really, if you think about it, America is run off the taxes that are collected, right? So if the popular vote is more people voting for one group or one particular person, that's more of the money in this country saying, I want this. But the less of the money basically won out. And so now people are using the bulk of our money to do shit that we don't want happening. And when I say we, I'm talking about the popular vote as a country. And that's just what I wanted to point out. It's not a political thing. It's just an observation on geography. Like I said, there is going to be a debate on whether the popular vote was voter fraud or anything like that. And it's not a political thing. It's not a political statement. It's just an observation. And I don't know. I just wanted to bring that out and see what you thought. What do you think about the fact that popular vote means that more of the money is what voted for whatever person, but really less of the money is what won? They're winning.
Well, the way they have it's really confusing the way they did like the electoral college and all that stuff, because the way so like you could win the popular vote in a certain state but still lose the state to the other guy.
Yeah.
Because the
districts
way they gerrymander it. So what they do is they'll take the districts and they'll say, you know what, we're gonna like for instance Rockland County, where we live, right? They would cut Rockland County in half.
Yeah.
And there's the one where like all the Republicans would live, right?
Yeah.
And so they would say maybe there's like a huge population of Democrats that live in this area in the same county. So that county is always going to win for Democrats. But if we cut the county in half, now these Democrats can go into that county, and the Republicans in that county are so overly populated that no matter how many fucking Democrats you put into that county, they're still going to lose.
Yeah.
So they didn't. That's what they do in certain states.
Yeah.
which means you can have a large amount of fucking Democrats, but they'll weed them out and they'll say, okay, so let's say there's 5 Democrats here and 1 Republican. Yeah. Well, we're going to change it so that it'll be one Republican and 1 Democrat, so it'll be a wash.
Yeah.
And we'll take the other 3 Democrats and put them in other fucking other like districts, and that's how popular vote can look so high but still lose the election. So that's what they do throughout the country, and
which
that's
is not illegal.
It's not illegal, but it should be fucking illegal though. Like that's crazy that they do, and everybody says it.
It's definitely nefarious. I'll give it that.
It definitely is. Like it's like if I was gonna play baseball with somebody or I was gonna play a football game. Hey, listen, we can play football, right?
Yeah, but
we're gonna get all the equipment, and you don't get to wear any equipment.
We only get to go 10 yards for a touchdown. You guys got to go like 80.
Exactly.
It'd be all right.
That's fucked up.
I mean, look,
and yet we're supposed to say, oh, but our elections are fair. Right there, that's just strike 1.
Yeah.
And then strike 2 is like fucking. Obviously, you saw the elections were rigged against Bernie with Hillary Clinton. She was fucking cheating.
But, I mean, I like to point out, and once again, not the political side of things, but like how people latch on to certain aspects. So it's like, so the polls did show that not the popular vote. Let's just go with the polls did show that Hillary was the front runner, like she was the favorite to win, and then Trump won, and so everybody's see, polls are sucky. But no, any statistician will tell you no, absolutely not. The polls were correct and accurate in assuming that everybody wanted to vote for Hillary. They just didn't account for geographical data.
Yeah,
they couldn't account for the electoral college. They can account for the popular vote, which is the popular vote was Hillary won. But
that was that was an interesting. I mean, I remember the next day, like everybody, me and my friends.
Oh my god,
like they would hit me up and go, Brian, man, like he fucking won, and I'm like, yeah, man, like
you
I
need
guess
a place to hide.
Yeah, like yo, I have a closet or like a roof. You can hide on my roof if you want.
I personally don't think. I think Trump is a bunch of.
He's all talk.
No, I'm not gonna say that. He is definitely doing stuff. I don't think he's heartless. I don't think he's out there saying let's fucking get rid of all the Hispanics or anything like that.
Well, he did say he wants to build the wall.
I genuinely think it's like what you said, where if you ever have a strong case for what you're saying, where rich people have a bubble that they live in, this would be that situation. What I'd agree with, where this guy doesn't exactly know.
He just doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's made a living off of screwing people over because he's a businessman and a good one.
Yeah,
and that's what that is.
Well, it depends on who you ask when you say businessman. There's some businessmen that say, I want my business to flourish and dominate. And then there's him who says, well, I just want to go in there and make the money and then get the fuck out. And I don't give a shit what happens to anyone else.
He's got the capital and then his people do all the work, I think. But, I mean.
Well, all right. So I was just talking to Trish about what happened with Toys R Us.
Oh, my God. Shit.
So Toys R Us is bankrupt. She's like, well, I guess it sucks. I thought, that's what she said too.
It's Amazon,
but
eBay.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, Toys R Us was doing pretty good. What had happened was it went under new management, new owners, right?
Yeah.
And the owners, this is pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not going to be fucking technically sound and all that shit. I don't know all the fucking terms, but in a nutshell, the people that own the company, they would borrow credit.
Yeah.
To expand the company at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And then so that stockholders will be like, wow, looks like Toys R Us is flourishing. They're opening more locations. They must be doing great. Let's buy more stocks. As they buy more stocks, these guys that own the company pretty much just were like, all right, we're making all this money. And then when it's time to pay the creditors back, well, the company isn't really making a profit.
Yeah.
But they are, because more people are buying their shares.
Yeah.
Buying stock. So what they did was, all right, let's just file for bankruptcy now.
Oh.
And we'll take the money and run. Which is essentially what Donald Trump used to do. And it's not I think it's a terrible thing to do, but if you really think about it, it's smart because now those guys are fucking rich.
He said that makes me smart. And it does.
It makes them smart, but also makes them assholes.
It makes them an asshole, but it does. It's a smart asshole. At least he's a paid asshole. And That's better than a broadcast.
I'm sure somebody is going to send me comments and like fucking say, well, Brian, actually, if you look at it this way, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But you're going to see that it's more on my side of what I just said than it is on like the fact that Toys R Us
we
did
definitely it definitely sounds like maybe a simplified version of what probably happened, but I mean for the most part
it's a dumbed down version for me.
Those are business practices in general. I mean, I don't know how many people file for bankruptcy, and then the fact that, you know, I understand the concept of incorporating yourself and making yourself into an entity. I mean, hell, America itself did that. We're a corporation. We're not even a country anymore. We're just the corporation of America. That's what we are.
That's why I fucking can't wait. To fucking quit the company I work for. Listen, I've worked for many companies, and I sound like Donald Trump right now. I work for many companies.
Many great men.
Many great companies now. But
I do great.
I have worked, believe it or not, and being only 29, to say that I worked for, I think, like 6 companies.
Yeah, that used to be a taboo back in the day. That used to be like...
It's still, I mean, it still is. Because I remember when I got the job at this company that I work for, the very first thing during the interview, my manager had said to me, so Brian, to see your resume and see how many companies you work for, I see a lot of jumping around.
Yeah.
That tells him, am I going to be able to, like,
loyalty.
Trust you to stay with our company? No, I told him, hey, listen, those companies weren't good enough to have me.
Yeah.
I think this one is.
Yeah.
That was the way I was able to like get the job and get him to fucking go.
Well,
okay,
I mean, because that's a good way to turn the question around. But look, let me explain something to you. You know, you hire me on the job, I'm gonna do good things for you. It's just gonna be like, once I do good things for you, what are you gonna do to keep me?
And that's exactly how I pretty much framed it.
You know what I mean? This is a working relationship, not just a one-way thing. Like, I'm not here to fucking sell my soul to you. What are you gonna do for me?
But I already did my homework, and I already told them I know what your company can do for me, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I told you I already work for another company, and I'm about to be an assistant manager there. Yeah. So they're moving me up the ladder. So I'm okay there, but I don't really. That company's just not good for what I need.
Yeah.
Your company is. That's why I'm here. And so they hired me. But just the fact that he can see my resume and see that I had a lot of jumping around made him kind of go, this doesn't look good. So that's not a good thing.
It sounds like this guy's like trying to date you. Like,
I don't know if this guy's. You sleep around with a lot of companies.
Sleep around. You're in bed with a lot of people,
and then I got a text message. She's like, "Who's that? Who's that? Is that another company?
Like,
is that our competitor?"
And then you got to tell him like, "Hey, look,
dude,
I don't know what you're into, but I ain't no virgin."
Stupid.
I could do things for you that you've never heard of. What are you gonna do to keep me afterwards? You know,
oh my God,
we're gonna have to watch The Notebook.
All right, so man, we've been talking for a while. So there you have it. We talked about. Let's do a recap. We talked about.
This is shit at this point. Yeah. I think we're 3 beers deep, and I think we can go another 3 more after this.
Yeah, but if once I finish this beer, I'm not gonna be able to talk anymore. So I'll start saying, "Oh, like, hey man."
Well, I mean that might be.
You were going to my birthday party.
It might be a completely different podcast. And then when I was 5, and this fucking asshole, fuck you, Billy, from.
You know, we really need to figure out a name for this podcast. I have no idea what we're gonna call it.
I don't know what we're about right now, man. We're just kind of shooting the shit.
That's what I want to do, and I know that people are probably gonna compare me to other podcasts that are out there that do this, and say they do it better. Well, you know what?
They probably
do. They have microphones that work and shit.
What are you talking about? Our microphones work.
Well, now they do. They weren't working before.
I think my microphone works better than yours.
Putting together a podcast sounds easy and was at first, like when it's just me, but now that I want to expand, this shit is fucking hard. It's extremely hard.
It's not. I mean, come on. Like, I think you got it down now. I think you got the board, and now you know if you have any issues with the mic where you can go real quick. We're not gonna do any name drops until they pay us.
Yeah. I wanna. Maybe we should start talking about the segment that I want to implement, where I want to try to win sponsors.
Yeah.
It's called Win That Sponsor, where pretty much I want people to send comments or send emails to me or send whatever, and it'll just be like any fucking silly product or service even that they found and they thought it was hilarious and it would be funny for me to say it on the show. So, for example, one of the ones that someone suggested me was the drill dough, where it is a dildo attached to a drill, and it gives you ultimate stimulation for vaginal, or I guess if
Wait,
you're
wait a
into
second.
anal.
Is that plugged in? I mean, like, what's the amp rate on that one?
Well,
Like,
actually, I think they have two. They have one that's you
dishwasher
plug
safe.
you plug in, plug into the wall, and then there's another one that is it has like a little battery pack, and you just fucking drill the shit out of yourself, or you can drill somebody else.
But is it ergonomically correct? Like, I mean, like, I'm assuming women are the ones that are the biggest market for this.
I don't know about that. Maybe there's some guys.
I mean,
gay guys.
And how does that relate to? Well, I'm guessing that would have to be like a construction fantasy, because I feel like women still have like the rabbit, the one that like like infamous yet famous vibrator / percolator. I don't know what to call it.
It looks like so. There's one.
It gets your wife off and makes coffee. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. There's also a calculator on there. But no. So I went into a place that's called Condoms Galore.
Condoms galore.
And it's like a sex shop. It is a sex shop.
Well, that's what I would get, unless it's like, maybe like a parent.
Condoms.
Preventative parenting.
No, there's a lot of crazy shit in there. Like I went in and they have they have a dildo that has like it looks like a fucking I don't even know. It's so weird to describe, but it's like an appendage that looks like a fucking like a medieval times like axe, and that like vibrates as well, so it'll hit like the girl's clitoris.
So if I'm picturing this right, it's an axe in the shape of a penis.
No, it's a penis, and then it's got like a little fucking like an antenna on top of it, and that antenna like it stimulates the.
That's the rabbit.
That's the rabbit.
That's the rabbit.
Oh,
come on,
I don't know the names, dude. I don't know any of this shit.
Man. If you get it, like it's got the dildo, and then that's the rabbit.
Okay, so
come on, man.
I mean, but and then there's so many other things. Like I don't know. I don't understand why they have these giant fucking dildos.
Those are novelty items. No, there's no.
I wonder if somebody actually did get it in there.
No, there's got to be like one or two women that.
I'm sure there's a video out there.
And maybe a guy out there. I'm not discriminating.
When I was younger, I saw a video. One of my friends, he's like, "Yo, you gotta see this," and he showed me a video of a guy put like that fucking lotion shit, that like cream, and he shoved his whole head into a woman's vagina, and she was just like, "Ugh."
That's gotta be. Is that fake?
I don't think so. It looked real.
That's weird. That's like a Freddy Krueger thing. That's weird, but no. That's interesting. See, maybe that's what we should talk about, man. I think women.
Well, listen,
because there's some women out there and some men that are wondering what the hell is that, and you medieval. It's an axe.
Yeah, it looks like an axe. Like to me, it looked like a fucking axe. I don't know. A woman looks at it and goes, "Oh, that's my husband."
All the ones. You ever see the Family Guy episode where Peter has an idea with the oil rig, the one that's pumping the thing, and he attaches it to a dildo and he puts it into Lois, and she's dead. She's dead. She died.
No, I never saw that one.
That's you right now. Like, dude, how industrious do you think sex is? It's not.
Dude, there's some crazy shit going on. There's a lot of inventions coming out of the woodworks. They're even coming out with like a sex doll that is like it's animatronic. It could be. It's a robot.
Yeah.
You can have sex with a robot.
Yeah.
And one day that's going to be a thing.
I'm pretty sure that's already a thing.
When that becomes like a real, like a reality.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
relationships are over.
Relationships may be over.
I don't even need maybe we'll just stop like sexualizing women altogether and just
we'll just start sexualizing. Look, you saw the fucking nuts on that or the bolts and shit.
Yeah, instead of the proverbial like when women walk in, hey, nice dress. Women are gonna be like, I bought this dress yesterday. Nobody cares, Karen. Shut the fuck up and get to work.
You don't even hear. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over this blowjob I'm getting from my fucking robot chick.
Oh, so what do you think? There'll be like moms breastfeeding in the corner and like dudes like just banging out their robots and sort of like.
What are you supposed to do if you see a woman breastfeeding?
Nothing. You're not part of that situation at all. I don't.
Okay, because here's the thing. I went into a coffee shop.
You don't have to even root it on at all.
Hold on, listen to me, because these situations happen. I went into a coffee shop. I got myself a little bagel and a fucking smoothie, and I sat down.
You say a bagel and a smoothie?
Yeah. It was one of those fucking...
That sounds delicious. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm having the smoothie, and I'm having my bagel, and I'm sitting down, and there's a woman, like, right across from me, breastfeeding. Okay. And she's making direct eye contact with me. And I'm trying to eat, and I'm like, I look over, and we made eye contact, and I'm like, oh, shit. And I kind of look down, and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do right now? Nothing. I can never look over there, but sometimes you got to fucking move your neck to the left, and she's going to assume you're looking at her.
Yeah.
I wish there was, like, something guys could do that can make women uncomfortable that they. But hey, listen, this is a natural thing. Like we had to pull our dick out. Oh, I gotta pull my dick out so that I can fucking breastfeed my dick.
I mean, all right, I can understand an initial shock, but like, I would at least like just like that would be the face that you just saw me make. I'd probably just kind of like just kind of wave like, hey.
No, you see, but you can't wave.
Why not?
Like, what the fuck are you looking at me for?
Well, there's no way that you cannot look at.
That's
someone.
my point.
And if you make eye contact with someone, usually when I make eye contact with someone, I at least give them the.
You know what I did?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you
I
doing?
just said, hey, can I get a bag to go? And I fucking left. And I just ate my bagel in the car.
Well, I mean that's good. You know what I mean?
I wanted to make her feel comfortable, but she kicked me out of the fucking establishment.
Here's the next question: you weren't offended, right? Like you weren't like that didn't offend you in any way.
On the contrary, I was worried that I offended her.
Yeah,
that's why I removed myself. I was like, oh fuck! But now that's like the Patrice O'Neal thing where he's like, he said he's walking by.
I'm a bear.
No, he's walking by and there's like a white girl walking by him in like a fucking parking lot or something. He's like, God, I hope this fucking bitch doesn't get murdered and I get framed for the murder tonight. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so like that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh my God, what if this girl thinks like he's trying to look at my titty?
Rest in peace, Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. I love that guy.
No, but dude, there's nothing you can do in that kind of situation. Like I always try to talk to people about. I attributed that to. I mean, you see women breastfeeding in public. To me, it's the same thing as seeing like a guy pissing in public. It's like I get it. Like you know what I mean? It's not like I don't understand.
But you shouldn't be
that issue is.
The guy pissing in public. We're like, you shouldn't be pissing in public.
But honestly, we get it. We don't go, hey, don't fucking.
No. Guys get it. Girls, I believe, are
even
like, what
women.
the fuck is that guy doing?
Women get it. You know why? Because women are moms, and women have little boys, and little boys pee everywhere, like fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but a little boy can't fucking hold his piss in like a man can do. I fucking hold my piss all day, baby.
Sometimes look,
I haven't pissed in a week,
dude. I've even been in a situation where like a girl has come up to me like,
just gonna ignore that.
Look, no, I'm just saying. I've been in a situation where even girls have to pee, and I've like had to pull over the car, and they just go into the bushes, and so it's just like,
no, that's different. But like if you see a guy,
how is that different? If
a guy is pissing.
I'm not saying he's whipping his dick out and showing his dick. I'm saying if you see a guy in the corner,
so yesterday
in the corner.
That's funny because yesterday me and Trish were walking in our town.
Yeah,
and we saw a guy.
Yeah,
just go in in an alley, but like not deep in the alley. He was like just at the corner of the alley, and you could still see him. And it was in the middle of broad daylight.
Yeah,
he just whipped his dick out, and started pissing, and Trish goes, "Oh my God, I saw his dick."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Oh well, you gotta go. You gotta go." You know what I'm saying?
Well, don't look at his dick. Just look at his eyes.
Just look at him. He's got beautiful eyes. Make eye contact with. It helps. No. It helps with the pissing.
Look, that I understand. Like, if he made no effort to cover it up, like I get that. But like, it's one of those things where it's just like we know that people pee. We know that people have to breastfeed. You know what I mean? Like some people are afraid to go take a shit in public, but it's like, go take a shit in public, dude. Like, you got to take a shit. You got to take a shit. We're gonna understand. Nobody's gonna really be like, oh my God, and then his shit
do you
stank.
poop in public bathrooms?
Fuck yeah, I do. Like, in fact, sometimes I do it like because I just feel like it.
Do you put that like they have like paper you can put on the toilet seat? And you put that on the toilet
seat?
seat?
Fucking put paper on the toilet seat. I'm vaccinated, motherfucker. Like,
so you let your ass and balls.
It depends. It
really
really depends on the situation. If I go in and I look at the toilet and I'm like, yo, this toilet looks like a
You wipe it down?
Yeah, I might even just take like a little bit of water from the sink.
And you wipe it down.
And
you take a little water from the sink.
Yeah, a little water from the sink.
So you have to take a paper towel. Then go in the stall with a wet paper towel.
Yeah, and then just wipe it down a little bit. And
okay.
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, and honestly, it's probably.
I'll always. I don't care. Even if it looks clean, I'll wipe the shit out of it.
Yeah, you wipe it. Look, you get the wet paper towel. You wipe it down, and then you get another piece of like toilet paper, and then you wipe it down to dry it down, so you don't have a wet ass. Because that's the worst. Having a wet ass.
You ever shit and then like it just came out like a fucking cannonball, and the water splashes back up and gets into your butthole?
Yeah, a little butt cheek.
No, it gets in my butthole.
Splashback, right? Is that what it's
splashback? And it gets in your butthole.
Splashback, yeah. In my butthole, like
I've had it.
In my butthole,
it's happened to me quite a few times. Actually.
Like, you're talking about the bullseye, yeah,
like a bullseye, dead on, right in the center of your asshole.
Yeah, I mean that's happened, and I go, oh, that's unfortunate. But
it's like, the fucking worst, dude. I hate that shit.
I think if I were to take any quote from anybody, it would be what is it? Tiffany Haddish from
The Great Shitter.
from the Trip, the one with that movie with the whatchamacallit, Queen Latifah and
Oh yeah.
Remember when she's like, you can't get infection in your booty hole.
Yes.
It's your booty hole.
That's funny. That's the second time I've heard that goddamn quote this week.
Such a great quote.
I had that quote the same exact quote on Sunday.
First of all, I am in love with Tiffany Haddish. Like, I love her and everything she says. She deserves everything. Like, even when she like got shit on by Beyonce, like, she had such a class to it.
I actually read somewhere that apparently, like, somebody said Beyonce is cheating on Jay-Z with LeBron James. I heard that today. I read that somewhere today, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And everybody already shit on that guy for saying it.
Yeah, but I mean,
but then there was people like going, "No, if look, we were looking at the footage at the game, okay?"
And I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold on a second, let me hear this out."
And it shows LeBron James like walking over to Jay-Z, and he says hello to him.
Fuck your bitch.
He's like, "Hey, what's up, Jay-Z? I'm on the basketball team. What's up?" And Jay-Z's like, "Yeah, you know,
I know who you are, motherfucker."
Hova. And fucking right next to Jay-Z is Beyonce, and she's looking up at him. She's looking at him, and the guy pretty much was saying, if you look at her body language, her toes are pointing towards him, and she's making this smile, and she's like making eye contact, and there's direct eye contact, and she makes a smile at him, almost as if like she's trying to like flirt with him, and he's like staring at her, and they're both gazing into each other's eyes. And then Jay-Z looks over at Beyonce, and Beyonce kind of goes, and looks over to her left.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you first put myself, like when you say that information and then show me that, I was like, oh shit, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
but like the whole time, like, really though, like, come on now, like, stop with the fucking.
That's the equivalent of like your friends convincing you some shit's going on.
That's what
come on.
But it just reminded me of that when like
you can't get your booty hole infected.
Yeah,
booty hole. Dog. Like, how did that? Look, I'm just saying Tiffany Haddish is awesome. And
so on that note, I think like we started this podcast like we were talking about some pretty awesome, serious topics. Nonetheless, we talked about 9/11.
Isn't that how like usually conversations work, anyways?
Yeah, and it progressively just turned into fucking us talking about taking shits and backsplash and Beyonce,
and medieval dildos, apparently
dildos and shit. So that actually, this whole thing started from that segment where I'm saying, you know, I want to. It's called Win That Sponsor. I want to win sponsors out. So that was just one example. If anybody can send me any more examples, that'd be fucking awesome. And I will do my best to try to win that sponsor. And if I do win them, I'll say your name if you want me to. I'll put your name out, I'll give you a shout out, and I'll say we won that sponsor. And we will have that sponsor on for as long as we can. But
I think you should tell them that it should be like the worst possible sponsors you can think. Like nothing.
Give me a terrible fucking sponsor. Give me like, I mean, within reason. Like I don't want to do like fucking, hey, how about the KKK? Like maybe I won't.
That actually sounds like a great sponsor. How would we win this KKK?
Yeah, KKK.
What are you guys about? We're about we hate everybody that you guys don't like. Who is it that you guys don't like again? And then like they name it all.
I don't think we'll win that sponsor because they don't like us either.
Well, I think we can be persuasive. I think the KKK, like think about it. We go out there.
You think there's KKK members that get blowjobs? They go like, I want a blowjob from a guy. Like they're like closet homosexuals.
No, I don't think that.
No,
I don't.
Really?
I think the KKK like forgot what they were really about, and so like really it's just a bunch of dudes like out
just
there
having
grilling.
barbecues.
Yeah, and so we go out there and be like, hey guys, we're one of the people you hate, and we're having a podcast. I love podcasts.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Sure you do. Stupid.
Can you name our podcast? Yeah. The
oh
third,
my God!
Imagine
the Third Reich podcast.
No, I'm not gonna.
That's not the name of the podcast.
That's not. We'll never have that unless it's hilarious.
We'll figure out a name for the podcast. For now, it's just the No Name Podcast. For now. I've been dabbling with a couple of names like TheFreeBridge Podcast or
the Namaste. Oh my God, how many people? How many like pissed off like moms would listen to our podcast within like the first minute? And be like,
well,
fuck these assholes.
I know our mom's gonna listen to this and go, "This is what the fuck is this? What are you guys saying?"
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, because I don't think we sound like ourselves.
I'm gonna try to get a couple of other guests on the show as well. And now that I know how to use the mics, I'm gonna get a couple more mics. So that imagine if we have like 4 people on here at the same time. That'd be fucking awesome.
$10. The only reason it was so much is because I had to fucking spend $24 on a fucking
$120 on, and I'm getting my money back for that other fucking mic.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna leave you with that, guys. Once again, if you can come up with any other names for this podcast, right now it's the No Name Podcast. That'll conclude today. I'll I'll be back on shortly after, and I'm gonna get maybe my wife can come on. I got a couple other guests. I have actually a list of people that want to come on by now.
By now?
Yeah, I have Josh. I have the Felicos. Both want to be on.
Oh my God, the Felicos would be so fucking
That'd be
great.
ridiculous. Imagine that. And that's why I got to get another mic.
Yeah.
With both of those guys on here, this is gonna be a fucking shit show.
Well, you're not gonna get one again at that place. You're gonna have to probably go somewhere else up, like where you're at.
I can go to there's Targets up where I fucking work.
Yeah,
where I
we
live.
bought the last one.
Yeah, and you see that it just fucking plugs right in.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, no, you're doing it wrong.
No, I know, and I told you I could fucking. It goes right in the hole.
Like that's not how it. Oh, apparently that is how it works. That's exactly how it works. I'm sorry for doubting you.
And don't worry, guys. I'm gonna have my brother on again. He'll probably be on multiple times.
Yeah.
As you can see, he is very interesting to talk to. It's just that now we're pretty drunk. So
I'm not drunk.
I'm pretty
honestly,
drunk.
I could probably go
fucking
another 4 beers. I think.
There's like 6 of you. I'm talking to you right now. I don't know what's going on.
How the fuck, dude? You had like 7 pounds of food and also that. Like
I haven't drank in a while. It's been a really long time since.
What the hell's wrong with? What are you, like 70? Like
No, I'm just trying to lose weight. I'm trying to keep my figure.
no.
You know, it's not easy. And apparently alcohol. When you cut alcohol out, that shit fucking, you start losing weight like crazy.
Yeah, that is true. Well, I think specifically beer. I think if you stick to like hard liquor, but then
No, even hard liquor, because they put like when you have mixed drinks.
Yeah,
that's just fucking
No.
sugars. And
I'm talking about hard. I'm talking about like fucking just drink that shit straight.
Well, I drink whiskey, but
Yeah,
even that is not good. It's not good for your body because now your body's not worried about burning calories. It's worried about
it's
fucking
like
getting
what the
rid of
fuck
that
is going
poison.
on? Yeah. Do we have cancer? Like yes. we
Yeah,
do.
pretty much.
Look it up.
That's what alcohol is. It's just poison that you're putting in your body. But anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that. That concludes our day.
Yeah.
This was Jose Castillo.
Yeah, you're never gonna find me. So
He's part of the DEA. If anything, he'll find you.
yeah, well,
if you try.
They know where I live. And they know so much about me now.
I remember when you first joined the
Yeah.
DEA, I had to give you all my information and
Yeah.
my wife's information, and we were fucking in St. Louis. We're not gonna fucking visit you.
Yeah.
Well, now I did.
But
I don't know
but I had to be cleared, and it's so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
And now, like, just before we go, so I'm going to Nicaragua, October or December, right?
Wow.
Well, before I didn't have to tell anybody, but now because Nicaragua is fucking, apparently there's a uprising going on. Now all of a sudden I have to like fill out a paperwork and like ask 700 people like, hey, can I go to this fucking? It's like, are you sure you want to go? Oh yeah, no, I'm one of them. So like, what do you mean one of them? Like, no, I mean like I was born there. So like, don't worry, I got family there. I'll be fine.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And they're like, are you sure you want to go? Look, I'll be fine. I don't know if you guys will be fine if you come get me, but I'll be fine. So they're freaking out. They're like, they don't want me to go. They think that I'm like going to get shot up, or I'm like, dude, not the Nicaraguans aren't like, they're just upset right now. They're just partying it up and dropping trees. Like it's not.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Oh man, whatever.
All right, guys. So there you go. That's Jose, and I'm Brian Castillo, and this is the No Name Podcast. Tune in next time where we're gonna have some more guests. I'm not sure who's next on the list, but I will have more guests from here on out. You guys take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.